So you saw my bill for the Wyvern Lord, did you? Most days I stay in Rabanastre, patrolling the shops and markets. But not long back I was dispatched to make a survey of the outlying desert. Agree to the hunt and I'll tell you what I know. Where was I? Our orders led us through the Wester Sand and further west into the Sand Sea. We just arrived in the western edge of the Namyensa Sand Sea when we saw it in the sky, the Wyvern Lord. Didn't worry the others, but it certainly worried me. What if that worm were to attack Rabanastre, I thought. I informed the commander of my concerns. He dismissed it as a bad case of nerves, saying even if it did attack, the watch would stop it. Most likely the city would be safe, I'll give him that. But it doesn't mean there wouldn't be casualties. I may be Arcadian, but I care about Rabanastre. That's why I posted this bill against my own purse. It's got naught to do with the Empire. I want you to slay the Wyvern Lord for me. Well, okay. I just want to read that on camera since it's still one of my favorite little hunts. Well. I've kind of vowed to do hunts off camera and to see how bad they are by memory. So I did Needhog off camera. Could have done Needhog on camera, but it would have taken time and frankly would have been boring, and I'm already worried enough about dead air during this run, so... In an effort to reduce dead air, I decided to do it off camera. I've also completely redone my party setup. I realized that I've done the Penelo, Thrawn, and Ash party basically every time I played through this. So I was like, you know what? Let's be a little different this time. So instead, our main party is going to be Balthier, Bosch, and Ash. If I have to explain why, you haven't been paying attention. Good morning, Capdoc, Vigilant, Crazy Norse, Platty, and Jason Bauer. What's up, guys? Good morning, or I guess afternoon in your case, Permius. And good afternoon, Dream Whisperer. I also got a couple levels off of the Undead leading up to Needhog. And like 100 or 2 license points, something like that. Just in the interests of, you know, total honesty. Which does mean I technically did a little bit of grinding off camera, but it wasn't actually grinding, it was just getting to Needhog and then getting back from Needhog. It's just a lucrative loop. And Lord knows Needhog himself gave me a few issues even still. So. I'm also completely incapable of taking on the Wyvern Lord right now, so that's fun. Well, remember, Crazy Norse, you have to do the whole jump rope thing. 9,999, or whatever it is. Because insanity, I don't know. Yeah, I can do the Mario Odyssey jump rope, sure, no problem. FF9? Nope. Okay, so, back to the plot. Oh, I should also mention, I did technically also do one other thing, but I don't think I gained any benefit from it. So there's this new mode in this thing called Trial Mode. And it's really weird and dumb. The way it works is you load a save, like as in I could load this save right here, and load that into Trial Mode. So it's all your items and equipment and levels and stats. It is this save. It's just you start doing random encounters. There are 100 random encounters, which are, well, let's just say they're brutally, ridiculously difficult after a fairly early period of time. Every 10 encounters, you get a bonus from it. Like you get some equipment or items or whatever. And you can save your progress. Now, you might think, well, that sounds dumb. I would agree. Apparently, the reason they added trial mode was people were upset that you could only get the best equipment at the end of the game. So to solve this, they added trial mode, where you can use the best equipment in random fights that mean nothing. Anyways... So I wasn't super impressed with trial mode, but then I started looking into it. Apparently, this is funny, apparently what people have been doing is using trial mode to farm equipment. because virtually every enemy in the game is in trial mode. So all you need to know which exact floor that the enemy is at, get to that floor, steal from them, or poach them, or kill them, and then if you don't get the item you want, reset, load the autosave, which will be, right before it, and then go try again. Oh, I also did our gambits up a bit, consequently. Although, apparently I didn't. I swore I did my gambits up. Did I not save after I did the gambits? Oh my god, I don't think I saved. Alright, hang on. So we've got Handkerchief, Chronos Tier. One moment. Yeah, the final trial mode battle is, spoiler alert, Gabranth. It's like a special Gabranth fight designed just for it. Yzmet is in there, by the way. Just to show how ridiculous it really is. Good morning, Zalok. His isn't set either. What the hell? Do they make him easier? Actually, they made him easier in this version in general. Well, easier. That's not accurate. It would be argued that they actually made him harder in this version. However, they did make him take less time. It's not the hour-long fight of boring that I literally fell asleep on that it was before. Very close, Savacom. It's B-A-S-C-H. Points for effort. Okay. No, we don't have... No, we don't. Yeah, I'll tell you the fell asleep story in just a second, because we're going to have a dead air period right after this. This is kind of a terrifying thought right here. Sand that is so smooth it's literally water. Hence the term sand sea. Go ahead, Permeus. Wait, what is it?
So, where exactly is Wraithwall's tomb?
Far to the west. We must first cross the Yogir Yensa, and beyond that, the Nam Yensa, before we reach the tomb. An expanse of desert larger still than all of Delmasca. We must pace ourselves. If you grow tired, we stop and take rest.
You don't have to worry about me. I'm tougher than I look.
You are at that.
Oh, then go ahead, Permeus. To my knowledge, this is physically possible. Although I don't know if it's possible to this scale. So. Damn it, Vigilant! Not again! Hang on, now I got Alt-Tab, which means freezing the game, too, so it's even more damn it than usual. It won't load. There we go, now it'll load. Is she shooting me? Like, I'm just wondering. It's okay, I don't mind being shot. It's cool. It's cool. I do love how I am basically fully cybernetic. Although I'm not sure I would do anything with my head. Because, brain. But that is fairly accurate. I would definitely do a lot of cyberneticism. Given the opportunity to do so. Hello, Takoida. Excellent drawing as always, by the way, Vigilant. So, for those of you who haven't heard me tell this story, I was fighting Yzmat, and what it was is I was kind of laying back on the couch fighting him. So, like, I'm in the living room, I'm on the couch, I got the PS2 controller in hand, TV's up there, and I've set up the fight, and I'm basically watching it, because and for all of his Phase 1, you can pretty much let the AI deal with it. It's what you have to pay attention in Phase 2, and Phase 3, and Phase 8, and Phase 15. So I'm just sitting there kind of watching, and I don't have a distinct memory of when exactly it happened, but at some point or another I just fell asleep. So from my perspective, what happened was I'm sitting there following Yzmat, and all of a sudden my roommate is like, you know, dude, Lore, and I'm like, what? And I look up, and he's standing there looking at me weird, and I'm like, what? And he's like, you were sleeping. And I looked down, and apparently at some point or another, the character I was piloting died, which actually pauses the game. You've actually seen that happen when I was dying to Needhog earlier. So the game was just sitting there on pause, with me asleep, and I didn't even notice it. And so from his perspective, he just walks in and he's like, hey, what's Lord... You asleep, dude? That's how boring that frickin' fight is. No, seriously, that fight is freaking boring. It is bad design.
A construct to draw oil from the ground. Abandoned many years now, it seems.
Did Dalmaskans build this?
No, the Rosarians. Their empire lies far to the west, ever at war with Arcadia. Heedless of the kingdoms caught in their midst. Dalmasca, Nabrodia, Landis.
'Tis the small craft's fate to watch the list of the galleons and pray for light winds.
Vossler, why are you here?
Imagine my surprise when upon my return to Bogerba, I find both you and the Lady Ash have vanished. I thought you above consorting with sky pirates.
Balthier is a man worthy of our trust, and it was the Lady Ash's decision. I am content to lend my arm. As I could not when Rassler died, when her throne was taken. Never again. I will defend her this time.
You walked the Knight's path. The Lady Ash?
So by this point, he has definitively betrayed us.
Let me guess. Sandstorm?
Something far worse.
I see. So the Dawn Shard does lie in King Wraithwall's tomb. The Marquis sympathizes with your plight, yet the Empire perches as a carrion bird on his shoulder. He can keep whispers of your abduction silent for only so long.
Yes. Tell me, Vossler, what have you accomplished?
We leave at once. This is Urutan Yensa territory, and they are unfond of visitors.
Yeah, they're why the Rosarians abandoned this place, by the way. Yeah, those guys. Clearly we should have just killed them all and taken their land. I mean, that's just obvious, right? But yeah, this is basically no man's land because of the Yensa. There's actually multiple tribes of Yensa around here.
Looks like we've attracted the wrong sort of attention. Let's quit this place while we still can. Move!
Vossler! Have you found the means to restore Dalmasca?
First, we must claim the Dawn Shard. It all begins with that.
So, very small praise for good writing. How often can you think of in a JRPG where someone's like, wait a minute, logical question. Well, let me explain, and then they're interrupted by something, and then they just forget about it. And, like, plot happens because they never explain. Here, that happened, and then Ash is like, wait, Vossler. And she repeats her question to him. Now, he's still coy because his solution is that we need to become a vassal state of the Empire, but still, I am actually astonished they bothered to address such a thing, whereas normally they're just like, you know. Yeah, a lot of games do that. There's a term called just spit it out. I'm guessing we'll be playing this until about Monday or Tuesday. It's a long game. In fact, it is the longest game of the ones we're playing for this particular run. Misguided idealism, Dakota. FF10 was 5 days, correct. Hang on a second. That's what I thought. I have no intention of taking a Christmas break, no. I got work to do. I will, however, only be doing a half stream tomorrow as I go to see Star Wars. I actually answered that earlier, Dream Whisperer. I went and did the Needhog hunt. And with the license points I got all of the increase your health license points. Which is basically how you boost your health at this low level. Like, I think I gained 3 levels doing the Needhog stuff. Something like that. I'm in my teens now. Yeah, pretty much, Crazy Norse. Oh, crap. Don't heal, don't heal, don't heal. Okay, we're okay, we're okay. Yeah, I noticed there were several license points which were like plus 200 health, and I'm like, holy crap. That's a lot. I'll take it. I've also noticed I already have access, like, here, I'll show you this real quick. The license boards, I guess because they're so truncated, are really high access. Like, if you look at this, for example, I already have access to Axis 8, for God's sakes. Like, look at that. I said that earlier, too, Dream Whisperer. I changed my mind and decided that since I always focus on Fron, Ash, and Pinello, I'll focus on the main 3 characters this time around, just to be different. Which means we're going to have to redo their secondary classes, but that's okay, we can make that work. So Ash is going to be a time mage, Bosch is going to be a white mage, and Balthier is going to be a black mage. Either that or we're going to just skip black mage, which I'm actually debating doing. And just make Balthier into a pure melee. That makes absolutely no sense, Dakota. Like, for once, it really does not make any sense. Now, that being said, I do want to mention something here. So, for those of you not aware, in this version, unlike FF10, the people who are not currently in my party are gaining experience and license points. So they're leveling at the same rate that I am. Actually, I think they get like half the experience, but whatever. So that's awesome. But in order to swap in this one, I'm trying to think how to phrase this. Basically, what I'd have to do is I'd have to swap in and out, effectively out of combat, or deliberately get someone killed. Which I can do. And I do actually intend to level the people who are off camera. But I don't plan to use them unless I have to. I mean, Pinello's 15, Fran's 15, Vaughn's 9. I don't know why Vaughn is so damn low level. Maybe they're not getting experience? I swear they were getting experience. I know they're getting license points because I can tell just by looking. We're already back up to 100 license points pretty much across the board. So I'm presuming they're gaining experience along with license points. If they're not getting experience, that sucks. And means this game sucks. Negative 15 to gameplay. Where am I going? Equipment does not require levels. Equipment only requires licenses. So, the fact that they're gaining license points is actually pretty useful. Oh, this isn't where I want to go. What the hell? Oh, there's where I'm supposed to go. Yeah, the fact that I have so much health isn't because of my levels. It's because of my license points. As I mentioned earlier, just to further emphasize how ridiculous leveling is. This is the second Ivalice game where levels could be just removed entirely, and I think it would actually improve the game. Huh. Because, yeah, equipment progression is basically either guild progression or drop progression. Guild progression is killing things, and license per point progression is also killing things, and also fairly a duh thing. Hang on, let's actually check. I just realized something. I can just test. So he has 1582. So let's kill a few things. Whoop. Wrong button. 1582. Okay, so yeah, they're not getting experience. That is so stupid. Never mind, I take back my praise. This game is just as stupid as FF10. And is a garbage game, and everyone who made this should be ashamed forever. I'm obviously being facetious, but that is such a duh thing to program in. And it's even more aggravating because they are getting license points. I can prove that one. Whatever. I don't care. I am really... Like, this is actually even worse to cycle people in and out than it is back in 10. So I am super not leveling other people in terms of levels. I will raise their grids, because of course I will. And I'll try to keep them equipped, but... God. Oh my god, there's another Yensa. We need to defeat the other Yensa. Maybe that's why it took so long to get level 99 in this game. Because what I did the first time I got to level 99 back in the PS2 was I got to that one spot in the Henne Mines with the infinite spawn and just sat there for like 4 hours or something. It was a hell of a wait. I wouldn't even be surprised, Crazy Norse. I like to call it artifact design, because they're only doing it because they used to do it, not because there's any good reason to do it. I mean, it's not like all old design is bad. There's plenty of old design decisions that are really good. It's just, you should do it because it's good, not because it's what you used to do, you know? It's whatever. Alright, time to kill the tortoise, by which I mean all the people around it. Like, I think I'm literally set up for killing trash, and I'm right, so... Go kill the trash first. Oh, nope, no we're not. Yeah, it sounds like if I wanted to level everyone, I'd have to basically have a carry and then 2 drags, which is probably what I did back in the day. I don't have distinct memories of that, because by the time I really leveled, like I said, I just sat in the Henne Mines and let it run itself for a while. Yeah, some of the graphics for some of these turtles are very strange. It does have the bracelet things, yeah, but no, I think that's just its scales. Let's go turn in really quick. Just really quick. Oh, I guarantee at least some of it in older games was to make the game seem longer than it is. Almost total certainty on that. That was an extremely common design decision in a lot of NES games, for example. Two-handers, some two-handers are better than others, like two-handed swords, Pole arms are amazing, though. In fact, I'm actually a little sad that Penella's my monk now, because pole arms have a higher than average block chance built into them, in addition to having a very high multi-hit chance. Like, pole arms are the best freaking weapon in this game, in my opinion. You killed it! Woo! Oh god, which one is that? That's this one. Okay, so since we killed the optional boss, we can go this way. And is this it? I remember farming these to fill out the bestiary, by the way. Wait, polearms hit flying enemies? Oh my god. I wonder if I can cheat to change my classes. God. I need to cheat to add Bragwin to my party. Then I just win. Ugh. Thank you very, very much, Bragwin. Very much obliged and appreciate as always. Thank you. But I refuse to put that to its Assassin's Creed Unity. Okay, I will, fine. But I have to Alt-Tab to do that, because this game is weird and likes to pause when Alt-Tabbing. God, this freaking game. Oh, by the way, speaking of continuing weird portness, I found out recently that this game, the Switch version, allows you to carry forward equipment from a save into a New Game Plus mode. Into the level 90 mode. Oh, fine, Dream Whisperer. I guess I'll go get the loot that I earned. Lord, having to loot. Worst game ever! But yeah, in case you're not really recognizing why I'm pointing that out as a weird and significant thing, the thing they call New Game Plus mode is not New Game Plus. It's just start at level 90. That's what it means. That's all it is. However, in the Switch port, you can carry forward equipment into it. I'm not even sure how that works exactly. And I don't care because I'm not playing the Switch version. Either Christmas Day or the day after Christmas, Kaisno, is most likely. I don't even know at this point, Dakota, so I don't know is the truthful answer. A potion! It was all worth it! I'm kidding. I actually anticipate we won't have a lot of people when we start FF7 because of the timing. Either that or we'll have a lot of people depending on, you know, what you're doing for Christmas. So this is messed up. A gathering at Urutan Yensa. A truly rare occurrence. They're talking. What's happening? No, they're gonna execute him. I love their pom-poms and this the Moogles. Do this creature would still be at large if not for his plea for help. You shame us by seeking aid of the outside of the tribe. Uratan Yensa are lords and masters of the Great Sea. We seek the aid of no one. Your words are the howling of the sand to my ears. I condemn you to dust! What have you done? You bring him back. It doesn't work that way. Those who sully our name will be punished, be they foemen or kin. They must pay the honor price. There can be no forgiveness for saving the tribe by asking for outside help. I will destroy you too, but I am merciful. Better you live to tell the world the Uratan are not to be taken lightly. Now leave! See, about that whole wiping them out thing, could we change our stance on that one? That rogue Uratan, he wouldn't have been happy back with his clan, I'm sure of it. That flower, it's so rare to see one blooming in the Sand Sea. Maybe that was the treasure he found? Yay, Eskir berries. There's a particularly dangerous avian known as Garuda, said to be quite unfond of this flower's scent. Yeah, by the way, a lot of the side quests chain a lot in this game. Speaking of which, I also did a little bit of the heal the person side quest on the side, which we'll get to later. So anyways, all in favor of wiping them out? Not just the men, but the women and the children, too. Not that they have women or children. No, really, they're bugs. I mean, I guess they have a queen, but... Shrug. They have woman. Wipe them out. All of them. So with that little bit of happiness out of the way... Anyways, these lovely people are why the Rosarians and the and the Arcadians don't really have any held territory in here. They are sentient. That is true. Alright. We'll put them in a box. We'll put the box in the other box. And we'll mail that box to myself. And then when it shows up, we'll smash it with a hammer! Yeah, honestly, I have no idea why these guys could withstand airship bombardment, unless they literally just go under the sea and they just kind of wait it out. Oh yeah, yacht. That's the real problem. Although, if I can just complain for a second, it actually irritates me that yacht is this big plot point and setting point, which they then just kind of decide to bypass. Because they figured out anti-yacht airships. And it's like, that should be a huge freaking deal. And it's treated as a minor, like, oh yeah, by the way, they figured out how to fly over yacht. It's like, but that is a huge game changer. Yeah, exactly. It's like, but in fact, I wouldn't be surprised if the only reason for the yacht thing, other than FFTA, is the fact that they wanted to explain why we don't just airship all over the place. Even though at a certain point in the game we get something that allows us to airship all over the place. So I don't know, whatever. I might be able to take this guy. Yeah, Baromi says, you totally can't fly up there either, even though they do later. Look, shut up, okay? Stop trying to explain the game. We needed to explain why the heroes don't airship everywhere. I'm being dead serious. I believe, I don't have true proof of this, but I believe the only reason for Yacht's inclusion in the story is to force the players to not just... force the players to walk everywhere, basically. Because we do, we walk everywhere. We walk here because there's Yacht. We walk to Bur-Omises because there's Yacht. We walk to Arcades because an airship would be spotted. I mean, at least the airship spotting thing makes a little bit of sense. But it's funny for a game that's, you know, kind of Star Wars-y, and we have an airship. Like, as I mentioned earlier, the freedom point in this game is really, really far into it. It's basically at the end. Right before the final dungeon. That's the freedom point. I'm not joking, by the way. Right before the final dungeon. I think this might actually be the latest freedom point in any Final Fantasy. I just love his attack animation. There's this one thing where he just whaps them on... He does like this overhead smack on their head with this giant two-handed claymore. And I don't know why, but I love that animation. Yeah, that one. Just whap! So we could go try to fight the Wyvern Lord, but I don't think I can. No, I haven't thought up anything yet, Zalok. If I'm being honest, I'm still trying to catch up with the theater. Because I've been having weird sleep the last few days. Ten's freedom point is slightly before the last boss, or the last dungeon. So it beats out 12 by, like, maybe an hour-ish of time. I'm just curious, by the way, if you're wondering what the hell I'm doing. I don't think I'm anywhere near a match for this thing, but it'd be interesting to see. I remember having a lot of issues with this ad, but that's because it's a flying enemy. In fact, it's one of the first flying enemies in the game. Not these guys, obviously. Yeah, I mean, with the winter sale, go for it, right? How much is FF10 and 10-2 off at the moment? Okay, so I want to kill these guys before we spawn the boss. I wonder... Wow. He has no frickin' abilities other than telekinesis. No kidding, Dream Whisperer. You'll notice I'm just leaving it on 2x speed regularly now. Like, this has become the new norm for me. If I want to speed it up, I'll go to quad speed. Oh, there's the boss. Okay, so let's see if we can do anything to this guy. Oh, jeez, he's hitting hard. FF15 is cheaper than FF12. Not gonna make the joke. Not gonna make the joke. I still don't understand your question, Baron. So I'm afraid I'm gonna have to stab you. Stab. There we go. Oh my god, that's more of a respawn than I remember. Okay, take two. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I'm physically incapable of fighting this guy, but yeah, you know, whatever. Let's see what happens. I'm doing damage to him. Well, his health is moving, but I think it's just because of telekinesis. Ah, Baron. How's your teeth doing? Yeah, this isn't happening. Well, I don't have a lot of other alternatives at the moment, Takoida, and I was told polearms would, spears would hit, and obviously I was misled. Oh, he doesn't have a spear on, that's why. Why doesn't he have a spear equipped? Hang on a second. I bought you a spear, didn't I? Did I just forget to save after I did all this crap? Maybe the trial mode screwed it up? I don't know. I also have 4,000 gil lying around, which I shouldn't, so yeah, I probably should actually go find... Oh, god damn it, why do I have to go the... Nah! Nah! Thing. So since I really don't feel like traversing the desert again... Come on. Come on. There you go. Now I'm just frustrated. There we go. Okay, so I don't think I have the money to buy anything else. I'm just seeing what our options here are. By the way, this is a recurring trend. Equipment in this game is very expensive. In a normal, non-grinding playthrough, generally I'm not going to have enough money for basically anything. Which is funny, because as I've mentioned several times, don't want to sell that by accident, most of the actual power progression comes from licenses and loot, or gear, rather. Well, if you talk about it at all, we are legally obligated to kill you, Micromano. Nah. Okay, so I can afford one more weapon, looks like? Yeah, jeez. Okay. Agreed, Dream Whisperer. Don't sell it by accident. I can barely avoid both of those, so I'm gonna go and do that. That was weird. I suppose I should while I'm here. It actually sells some really good stuff here. Like accessory-wise and armor-wise. But, 12 isn't... I am playing 12 on the PC, as it happens. Wow. I have no idea what mods there are in this game. I haven't even looked. At the moment, I have to grind just to buy potions. Okay. This button. Why don't I do... And before we actually move forward, let's burn a few licenses here. What do we got? What do we got? So there's those. What's down? That's just equipment, isn't it? Swiftness. Yeah, the winter sale is on right now. So it's half off, if you care. This is how you get HP, right here. I do feel like I'm getting license points at a much faster rate than in the previous game. Or in the original version, I should say. Or I'm getting... it's just the grid is so much shorter that I'm just making stuff happen quicker. I don't really know. But I do feel like I am progressing a lot faster on the grid than I was in the previous version, so whatever that means. Yeah, the reason I was going to make him Black Mage is he has a lot of increased magic potencies on his grid. Like, a lot of them. Which is weird, because he can wear light armor and heavy armor. But I don't... No, hang on. That's what I thought. He has no spells at all on his grid. Just a lot of increased magic potency for some reason. Do katanas use magic power rather than physical power? And I'm just an idiot? I guess that's not a mutually exclusive question there. Aha! There you go. Katanas use physical damage. That would explain it, because there's just so much magic lore on this frickin' grid. Yeah, I don't use katanas usually, by the way. That's why I'm just like, eh? As much as I hate to do this, I really want the things behind it. Let's see. It's okay, I know I'm an idiot. I'm told that I'm an idiot every single day of my life. Gets a little tiresome, honestly. What can you do? Let's go this route with her. Yes, I highly recommend Devil May Cry 5 if you have not played it. Yes, I want him in the party because he's my polearm guy. We'll go and use that too. Ash, is she in the party? No. Although I should probably use some of her points anyways. I don't actually know anything about Life is Strange 2, so I can't speak to that. God, you want to talk about a sound that's burned into my brain. Okay. Actually, hang on. See you around, Jason Bauer. So, let's make an attempt at this just to see, even though this is probably a failed endeavor. This is pretty much the last time I'm going to do this, too. I said I'd do hunts off camera, and I meant it. But we are right here. I remember the first time I played this, I was like, oh my god, telekinesis is so useful, I need a beeline for it, where is it? Oh, it's in one of the optional dungeons. It's not even there the first time you go, too. Ads. Looks like we might be able to bomb jump this. Mostly with the potions we just bought. It does look like polearm is actually hitting, or excuse me, I keep saying polearm. Spear is actually hitting the boss. So that's definitive. Thank goodness for that. Except now he's just standing there doing nothing. Come on, dude. He's standing there doing nothing again. Oh, he's using potions, that's what he's doing. Let's do this. Abso-frickin-lutely, Baron. All optional stuff, but still. Okay, we were able to bomb jump our way to victory. With a level 9. Although, as I already said, levels are really not a big deal in this game. I need to do this button. I kind of need to let Bosch die, so if you're wondering what I'm doing here. So I'm just going to let Bosch die. It's literally easier to just res him and let the debuff fall off than to try and heal him through it. Because I have no way of getting rid of that at the moment. Hello, Dreambomb. Oh, come on! Alright, hang on. I actually forgot sap doesn't kill you. There we go. Okay, he's dead. Thank goodness. Whew. I should probably turn Gambits back on now. I guess I could have attacked him. I remember there was the explosion trap right there, so I figured, eh. So now to fight the boss at very low health. This should be fun. Sure. Let's save ourselves into a corner. Why not? Like, how did he... And why here? Like, think about how much time and effort it took to carve that out. Never mind actually build something in here. Dynast Kings, am I right? Oh, hey, we got a full heal. Holy crap. We got a cutscene heal. Don't be silly, it doesn't rain in the desert. Pshaw. Well, Dynast is simply the beginning of the dynasty, Savacom. Hume is their term for human, which they actually took from FF11. But yeah, we're going to turn Bosch into a Holy Dragoon, because that amuses me. She'll be a spell sword. And Balthier, I'm still debating. He's either going to be also a spell sword, or a super samurai ninja. No rain in the desert. Doesn't exist. Totes. Why does this song play here?
Long ago, the gods granted their favor to King Wraithwall, who would oversee the subjugation of a vast territory spanning from Mordalia to Valendia. Here he forged the Galtean Alliance. Though he is called the Dynast King, upon establishing the alliance, he demonstrated compassion for his people and disdain for needless war. A philosophy passed on to his successors, one that would bring peace and prosperity for hundreds of years to follow.
I'm sorry. What is up with his beard? Is that just me? Is that just me? Anyway, so yeah, this guy did the Okuria's bidding, and this is one of the better thematic points of the game. Even though the Okuria are bad guys, and I don't want to sound like they aren't, their minions actually aren't all that terrible, and by all accounts, the Dynast King himself was a good ruler. It's just, first he had to conquer and subjugate the entire continent. Then he established peace and prosperity. So, that's pretty much the catch. That's the gray there. He first had to wage a war of conquest and bloodshed, then he could go ahead and improve the daily livelihood of everyone.
It was during this time of peace that the city-states of Arcadia and Rosaria, each members of Wraithwall's alliance, took root and flourished. Wraithwall left 3 relics signifying descent from the Dynast King. Of these, the Midlight Shard was given to what would become House Nabradia, and the Dusk Shard to my ancestors, the founders of Dalmasca. The last of these relics was the Dawn Shard. It remained hidden here, known only to those of royal blood.
As though the Dynast King foresaw the very plight before us now.
None save descendants of the king are suffered within. If we attempt to enter without proof of such lineage...
There's no guarantee we'll make it out alive. Vicious beasts, fiendish traps, something like that?
Mm-hmm. But you must consider the prize. The Dawn Shard lies within, and Wraithwall's treasure.
And there was I, thinking this was going to be hard.
Sadly, we don't actually know a lot about pre-Dynast King Ivalice. But I will say, the Ocuria have a very hands-off philosophy until things get too far, in their opinion. Which is interesting to think about, because despite being manipulative, controlling bastards, they also have their own pseudo, either not caritude, or simply a prime directive kind of approach. I'm not sure which it is. It's like, okay, we've taken over. I'm going to take a nap. Wake me when it's war again. What? The countries are all tearing each other apart? Okay, hang on. Let's empower someone else. Yeah, half prime directive. Don't interfere unless it's really bad. That is a question. A worthy question, Wilkins. I mean, obviously we end up going against the Ocuria, but whether that's a good or a bad thing, I don't know. Alright, so how many of you got in here and died horrifically against the boss we're about to die to? I'm just kidding. I'm going to go and run. I should raise my hands, though, because I totally died horrifically. See, this, you can actually see him, right? That's the boss right there. That's actually an optional boss. Now, what's funny is I've argued that this is one of the harder optional bosses in the game. Not because there aren't bosses that are more difficult than him, but because of the fact that you fight him here, and only here. Like, you can't come back later and beat him. It's this or nothing. But yeah, there's 2 demon walls in this, and what's really messed up is, well, I'm not going to do it again. But I showed you guys this during the lore run. It kind of shows your death. And it's really I don't know, it's something about it just really bothers me a lot.
Fight or run? We better decide fast.
Because what happens is it pushes you all the way to the wall, and then it keeps going, and then you hear this really loud... You really want me to show it? Here, I'll speed it up. Like, I don't know, something about this just really, really bothers me. Because what happens is it shows us, it shows it, and then the camera kind of just does that. Game over. It is possible to beat that wall. It is not particularly easy. As I said earlier. But yeah, there's a pretty good chance you're going to reload at least once, which is probably why there's a save right before this. Oh yeah, you super have to grind to beat this thing. Either that or you have to know exactly what you're doing. It also has the ability to just X-zone your characters, so that's fun.
Fight or run?
Yeah, exactly. It's so horrifying because it just lets your imagination run with it. It doesn't show you yourselves being crushed to death against spiked spines and God knows what else. You know, Vossler's like, I'm out of here! Screw this mess. Now this one is loads easier. It's a lot slower, has a lot less stats, and doesn't do the same attacks.
The wall comes. We must be quick. Together we can bring it down.
Notice the previous cutscene said fight or run. This one says you have to kill it. We get a new UI thing and showing where it is, too. You just put an immovable rob there. Yeah, notice how he has substantially less health. He is using AoE blind still, but I have a way of dealing with that. You notice this one also isn't... Oh no, he is X-zoning, my bad. He still X-zones, but not as bad as the other guy. And he's dead. Yeah, X-zone is the mean part, I agree. Yes, Valvidrix, you do. I don't even remember. You get something for killing the previous one, other than the hunt bonus, and I don't remember what it is. Where's Balthier? Well, he's hanging out with X-Death right now. Or Gilgamesh. Which is funny, because the Gilgamesh is actually in this game. That's how Gilgamesh gets in. Balthier drags him back when he returns from being warped. Wait, that's it? You get a frickin' Scathe mode?
Incredible. It wounds me to look on as they pillage so solemn a place.
Piss off, dude.
Yet without help, you and I are as nothing. Is this not so?
I find it funny that she throws his own lesson back in his face.
On his own profit. Assure him of it and he shall remain true to our cause.
I do not share your majesty's trust.
We will continue this later. Now we should concern ourselves with finding the Dawn Shard.
Website, Magister.
It sleeps in waiting, somewhere deep within.
How can you be certain?
I can hear its call.
Okay, I was right. I was pretty sure that X-zoning is fixed by zoning, ironically. But I didn't want to say that until, you know, I proved it, one way or the other. So, Valvidrix says, when did Vossler betray us? We don't know. They never actually 100% say. There's three common theories, and I've actually shared all of them during this particular run. It's either before the game began, that is to say, you know, before the game began proper, before we started piloting Vaughn. Immediately after that, or during his I will go and find a solution phase, which he just finished. And there's actually plenty of evidence for the two major ones, I would say. So, I don't know. Flip a coin. For best narrative impact, I would say it would make more sense that he has been betraying us since before. Like, he was the one who betrayed us to Vayne when it came to the Fate. Because I think that would line up best with his pseudo-character arc and the way it relates to her character arc of being willing to accept things that she otherwise wouldn't. You know, basically trying to push past her hopeless idealism into something more pragmatic. which is then thrown back in his face because... One of the interesting things, though, is Vossler is actually quite correct in his decision here. Horribly enough. Yeah, the rest of this dungeon's just kind of here. That's why I'm just gonna not really talk about it. More blood dungeon design, yay. Also, there's like one enemy down here which rarely spawns, and I remember that because it took me forever to kill enough of them to fill out the bestiary. I have a lot of bad memories about filling out the bestiary, which reminds me... That reminds me, I want to debate something with you guys. So first of all, I'm going to give a gameplay negative. The question is, does that also deserve a story positive? So it's like this. The gameplay negative is for the method of presenting lore. You get lore from bestiary, you get lore from hunts. Now, neither of those are bad things in and of themselves. It's the way that they are done which pisses me off. How many times have you heard me, just during this playthrough, say, and here's an enemy that's really irritating to fill out for the bestiary? And I'm not even done yet. There's plenty. There's usually at least one enemy, on average, per area, which is just really frustrating to kill enough of in order to fill out its entry. You'll fill out like 80% of the bestiary just by running around and playing the game. Well, that's not fair. You'll fill out about 40% of it just playing the game. You'll fill out 80% of it doing all the hunts and the optional stuff. But getting that last 20% is just aggravating. It's the same thing with the hunts. The hunts have decent lore behind them, but the problem is so many of the hunts are so aggravating in their own right, either requiring substantially higher power progression than you're currently at whatever point at which you unlock them, or arduous, tedious bullcrap, or walkthrough-itis-iness. In short, method of execution aggravates the hell out of me. And if anything, it reminds me of World of Warcraft. I know that sounds like a weird parallel, but how much interesting and good lore is locked behind, super optional difficulty stuff in World of Warcraft? It's not a huge amount, but it's there. Now, I agree it's nowhere near as bad as capturing every monster in FF10, but at the same time, I kind of liked doing that. And there was no lore locked behind that, really. Now, there is behind the FF10-2 thing, but I don't know much about that. My overall point here is I find that the specific method of execution is severely flawed, to the point of actually detracting from my enjoyment of the game. Now, the bonus question is, does the game then get a positive for the lore that is locked behind it? And that's the real question I want to posit to you guys. Yeah, let's not talk about Archimonde, or Cho'Gall, or Sinestra, or the Lich King. You don't even go inside the Frostmourne in Lich King 10. Well, I won't answer that question, Alpha Host, because I'm ignorant and done stupid, but... I mean, I don't know. FF15 is the same as the PS2 FFs, in my opinion. Very good, very flawed. Like, I think the net score is something like 9 gameplay positives and 10 gameplay negatives, something like that. And And every time I go back and re-examine that score, I'm like, yep, nope, that's right. So, good game that you have to slog through to enjoy. Just, like I said. Yeah, no kidding, Final Cloud. Oh my god. So I guess while we're on the subject, we need to decide if the mist is a negative to gameplay. No, I'm kidding. To be continued. Actually, real quick. Basically, the question I want to ask you guys is, does the grind and the walkthroughiness of the optional content in FF12 deserve negative, considering the specific implementation? It's always case by case for me. That's why I'm asking the question. And as usual, the fact that it's optional isn't necessarily an excusing point, as we discussed with FF10.
Fog? Underground?
Not fog. Mist.
You can see the mist with your eyes?
Where it is thick enough, you may. The nether runs deep in this place.
So, is the mist dangerous?
Yes, but it is also an aid. A dense mist allows the working of powerful magics.
I'll keep that in mind. Can't count on Vaughn to keep track of these things. That's for sure.
Now, it's interesting you bring that up, Dakota, because one of the amusing things is if you equip the damn thing, it actually sits, or it actually, is that it? It silences you, so it prevents you from being able to cast. The other one, which I don't even have on me anymore, actually reduces your MP to 0. And yet, in story, it has no actual impact. Other than when the cutscene demands it. I don't know. Like, all we have to do is unequip the thing and we're fine, basically. And that's just Zelda logic right there. Oh, it's okay, I unequipped the iron boots, so now I can swim normally now. So, boss time. See you around, Baron. True, Final Cloud, although I don't have such a thing in this game, because usually what I do is my non-mage characters are either healing or buffing. Which is actually what I intend to do this time around, too. By the way, this is one of my favorite songs in this game. Actually, while we're here... One moment. I want to hear what the reorchestrated version of this song sounds like. I think I like the OST version better. Well, here's hoping you enjoy it a bit more, Walker. I imagine the built-in speed-up thing will help, if nothing else. Yeah, I agree. The Dissidia's version of that song is pretty good, too. You learned Belias. There was apparently supposed to be a lot of extra lore about the Espers, their backstory, and the nature of how they worked, and all of that is left on the cutting room floor. So all we really get is the bestiary entry, and that's kind of it. So that sucks. They would actually take this idea.
They are their road.
They would actually take this idea and kind of stretch it out into FF14 of all things.
Shouting challenges at the gods, but prevail they did not. Their doom it was to walk the mist until time's end. A legend of the Nemo.
My family tells a story of the Dynast King and an Esper. The story goes that in his youth, the Dynast King defeated a mighty Gigas, for which the gods took heed of him. Thereafter, it was ever bound to him in thraldom.
Oh yeah, these people are...
So, all this time it's been here guarding the Dynast King's treasure.
These things are totally bound to the Ocuria, yes.
Not so. The Esper is the Dynast King's treasure.
That's your treasure?
In this Esper we now command rests a power whose worth is beyond any measure.
Is that so? Call me old-fashioned, but I was hoping for a treasure whose worth we could measure.
Yeah, no kidding. And yeah, Fran's tolerance of the mist is kind of strange, since it's so thick here she can literally see it, and that'll be true in several dungeons, but during the engine incident, which is actually the next scene, or the next scene, rather, she freaks out. I don't know. That's just the compression of the voice on the sound samples, Johnny, which they did for the PS2 version, so that's what we get going forward. Yeah, no kidding.
What's wrong?
Your Majesty, we must go.
Nice point there, by the way. Remember, by this point, definitively Vossler has already betrayed us. At whatever point it is, at the very latest, it's when he went off and then came back. I like his little, damn, it does exist. Like, there's just that moment of, that hesitation, you know? Hesitation is the wrong word. Like, regret. Like, crap.
What? Wrestler.
You remember him, right? This is a nice camera shot, by the way. This is probably the only FF I'm going to give a positive to camera work, by the way. But check this out. And just to emphasize the point, in case somehow you missed that,
You will be avenged.
all of them are looking at her except for Vaughn, who's watching the Ocuria ghost walk by. By the way, that's not Rossler, just heads up. It's the second time she's fiddled with that ring, which is what Balthier notices, since he is obviously observant, as I've mentioned several times. So, yeah, the Ocuria are very brute force in their manipulations. It's actually funny because Vana is substantially more subtle, at least early on. Excuse me, Vana the Heretic. Yeah, Vana is more convincing. The Ocuria are like, hey, your dead husband wants you to do what we say to do. So hey, look, not only can the Leviathan fly here, but so can all the Ifrits and all of their fighter craft, despite their being yacht. And the Shiva, which is what that ship is. Like I said, the yacht thing is basically thrown out the window regularly.
Such a tremendous honor to again be graced with your presence, Majesty. You left us with such great dispatch upon our last encounter that I must confess I had begun to worry that we may have given your Majesty some cause for offense.
Such a heartfelt display of remorse. Now what is it you want?
I want you to give me the Nethicite.
The Nethicite?
That is a base imitation. We seek Wraithwall's legacy, the ancient relics of the Dynast King. Day-affected Nethicite. Did you not tell them, Captain Azalus?
Majesty, he speaks of the Dawn Shard. That is the Nethicite.
Oh yeah, sorry. Lorshok.
Are you mad, Vossler?
If we are to save Dalmasca, we must accept the truth. I will fight this profitless battle no more.
Captain Azalus has struck a wise bargain. In return for the Dawn Shard, the Empire will permit Lady Ash to reclaim her throne, and the Kingdom of Dalmasca will be restored.
As a vassal state.
An entire kingdom for a stone. You must admit, 'tis more than a fair exchange.
And when all is said and done, your master will have another pet.
Lady Ash, let us take him for the people of Dalmasca. Your Majesty wallows in indecision on peril of their heads.
I like how Balthier doesn't even flinch. Doesn't even flinch.
Your sword is to the point.
Quick aside, what's really interesting here is Geese, as I mentioned earlier, is the most political of the judges, and the one most ambitious. He wants to climb up the ranks. He wants to take the Emperor slot for himself. This whole thing, this whole game would have gone completely differently if not for Geese. You ever think about that? They would have surrendered, which they do here, and they would have taken the stone. He would have taken it back to Vayne. Vayne would have pushed his imperial plans. Dalmasca would be a vassal state of the Arcadian Empire, blah, 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 blah. Yeah, basically, Vayne would have just won across the board. If not for one man's ambition. Something about the poetry of that, just, I love it.
To think the relics of the Dynast King were day-affected Nethicite, Dr. Sid will be beside himself.
What did you say?
Captain Azalus, take them to Shiva. They should have leave to return to Rabanasta soon.
Now, what's interesting is Geese actually honors his bargain this time around. But that's because...
I want you to assess its power.
This.
Did our orders not specify that we return the stone for testing?
I will not chance returning with a stone that is yet unproven.
He even has an excuse for testing the stone. Ready to go. So there's the Shiva.
When we return to Dalmasca, we can announce that you are alive and well. I will then continue our negotiations with the Empire. I believe Lars has the key. He'll listen to us. We should trust him.
Who are you, Vossler, to talk of trust?
I mean, in the interest of fairness, he is, once again, absolutely right. Larsa really is the key to peaceful coexistence with the Arcadian Empire, especially given Larsa's position and maneuverings thereof. And, again, this all is the correct decision to make.
A son of Dalmasca.
Now, I want you to remember that little cutscene we just saw. Think about how far away the Leviathan is.
Our equipment here is limited, so we'll be using the ship's drive to make our assessment. Once we've connected the stone, the reaction should be easily measured.
Methods do not interest me, only results.
Notice that she is already reacting to it. At least a mile away. And they haven't even actually started yet.
6,800, 6,900, 7,000! This must be deified nethicite! The count still climbs!
Ah, we found it at last. True day-affected nethicite. The power of the Dynast King in my hands.
Rest well, Platy.
Blood alone does not an emperor make, Vayne.
What is this? Something's wrong!
What is it? You stand down!
Hold her down!
You notice that she just ripped metal apart with her bare hands, right?
What's wrong?
It's understated, but...
New friend didn't take well to being tied up.
You'll also notice Balthier has already picked his own locks, too.
I like Fran's idea. Let's get out of here.
No farther! Sky pirates, the future of Dalmasca will not be stolen. Why do this, Bash? This struggle is futile. You must know where it leads.
I do know. All too well.
I have a feeling that Geese underestimated Vayne, Dreambomb. Just my take on it. I agree, Dakota. This is an excellent scene, and it's probably getting a positive to story, but I agree they could have added even more to it, to really show just how much they can't do anything about this thing. One of the wonderful points of this game is that the people you have to fight are not always the bad guys. Like this game is astonishingly gray, which is, I love it. I love the way it's presented. I love the way it's designed. And there's the fact that they're legitimately sad at having defeated Vossler, a traitor, is just, I'm sorry, I love this bit. I really do.
Power falling rapidly. Each negative, impossible.
Engine room, this is the bridge. Report.
What are they doing down
What's
there?
happened?
The nethicite's draining the ship's power!
Disengage it at once.
I want that
We're
number
trying
3
to no
unit
good.
seal. Let me out.
Reach critical in 300. Cascade failure.
I mean, he raised his sword against us.
Ash, let's go.
Although, in fairness, we don't kill him. We just defeat him and then walk away.
I've ever thought of Dalmasca first.
I know you do. I would ne'er gainsay your loyalty.
Look on what my haste has wrought. Did I act too quick? Or was your return too late? I can serve her no more. You must take up my charge.
We have time for this. But yeah, he would live if not for the fact that he stayed behind, ironically. By the way, in case you missed that, the stone, they were using power from the stone and using it to power the engines temporarily, but then the stone basically started black holing. And when I say black holing, I frickin' mean it. And started ripping power back out of the... God. Back out of the engines.
This might get a little dicey.
The mist. It manifests now.
Is that what you call this?
And yes, nuke parallels are obvious and deliberate, but this is effectively what happened to Nabu Dis. You'll notice only one ship survived, and it was the Shiva, the ship we were on. The only ship that was away from the rest of the fleet.
I think it's the Dawn Shard.
What are we waiting for?
Did you notice the crater it made in the ground, too? Despite being an air detonation.
The dreadnought Leviathan is sunk. The 8th Fleet of the Arcadian Imperial Army lost. As word of the events in the yacht sounded throughout the Empire, quit I Bujeba, citing sudden malady. My true motive, to bring the various counter-imperial forces scattered throughout Ivalice together in unified resistance. By this time, Lady Ash had made her return to Rabanastre. She had not, however, made known her presence. Rather, she was content with keeping both her own whereabouts and those of the Dawn Shard concealed. Had she chosen then to go before her people, my error in announcing her suicide would be known, to the great detriment of my efforts to assemble a resistance. In such circumstance as the Lady Ash then found herself, even were she to proclaim Dalmasca restored, it would serve only to invite the Empire's wrath. Though Arcadia had lost her 8th Fleet, she remained, as ever, a military power with which to be reckoned.
So, plus to story, sorry, but that's just a really good sequence of events there. And even though there are specific problems with it, which I do agree with, this is a brilliant bit of narrative construction. Everything up until this point has been following a fairly rote pattern. It was Guise's action that interrupts the pattern, and then there's a literary term for that. It causes the crisis. It's like, okay, now what? Wrench in the works, you know? Hey, it's an executor. But no, here's the Senate for the first time.
The Rosarian Empire assembles a vast host under guise of martial exercises. It is our belief they wait for the proper pretext, the sooner to make their strike against Arcadia.
I hate to interrupt, but again, to make this very clear, we are effectively in a Cold War scenario and have been for years at this point. Because both sides are about evenly matched. And both sides basically couldn't afford to push too hard, lest they be the ones overextending and then caught victim, right? You don't want to be the one to start the initial strike unless you know that you can win with total certainty. It's a fairly basic strategy. The problem here is they just lost the entire 8th Fleet, which, as Dakota so accurately pointed out, was the specialized new fleet with a dreadnought, with the yacht-capable ships. So, like, you've played EU4, right? Or any strategy. Imagine you're in the middle of a situation where there's a hostile power there, and you just lost one of your entire armies. One of, like, 12 that you have total anywhere, ever.
The loss of Leviathan and her fleet at such a time comes as a most grievous blow. Were Rosaria to invade, the battle would be hard fought. Had Lord Vane not deployed the fleet so capriciously, we would not now find ourselves in such perilous circumstance.
So I've pointed this out many times before, and forgive me for pointing it out yet again. The Senate are obvious politicians. They use big, blatant, obvious manipulations in order to try and get their way, and this is a very good example of that. Well, obviously this is Vane's fault, therefore screw Vane. Yeah, this is a barely disguised pretext. Now, the problem is Vane has the support of the military, and that means, well, we'll see that when we get there.
Lord Vane shall be made to answer for his actions.
And yes, that's Kane.
Of the Senate. Excellency, though he be your son, justice must be served.
A convenient thing, justice. And so I must now make a choice between my throne and my son.
A most lamentable situation for us all.
Oh? For Lord Vane, perhaps. Yet surely Lord Lancer will make for a fine emperor.
Lancer so adores his brother, and he is yet young.
But he will not remain young forever. Already he busies himself unraveling Lord Vane's tangled skein. Lord Lancer has found his role to play and pursues it with some enthusiasm.
Ah, yes. And who would set him at such tasks?
What matter? Lord Vane himself once saw his elder brothers brought to like justice, did he not? At your Excellency's behest, as I recall.
You may put yourself at ease, Lord Gramis. So long as the Senate watches over her, Arcadia's well-being will ever be ensured.
By your will, I shall bid Vane return to Arcades.
No, sadly or otherwise, the Emperor is basically pathetic at this point in his life. For whatever reason. He even pretty much willingly allows his son to kill him, just to further his plans. Oh, I never got to finish my statement, Crazy Norse. You were commenting on how it was totally tuberculosis. Well, that's totally valid. What I was referring to is in Hollywood, 90% of the time, if someone's sick, they cough because there's not a lot of other ways to visually and audibly demonstrate someone is sick, since so many real-life diseases have no visual presentation to them. Not without getting either gross or not the kind of stuff you can show on camera. Hence the cough. There's always the cough.
So, it was the Dawn Shard that brought down the Imperial fleet.
You know your stuff.
Destructive power of such force. I've seen it once before. Lady Ash, you know of what I speak.
Nabudis.
The capital of Old Nebradia, Lord Rassler's fatherland. At the time of the invasion, a division of Imperials entered the city. There was a mighty explosion. Friend and foe died alike. Something was there. One of the Dynast King's relics. The Midlight Shard was in Nebradia.
More Nethicite. Well, no wonder they invaded.
That ridiculous war. The trap at the treaty signing. All this because Vane wanted power.
Well...
He must not be allowed to claim the Nethicite. The Empire must never hold it.
Oh, they already do. The Dusk Shard? Most likely the Midlight Shard, too. Besides, can't they manufacture Nethicite now?
Very well. Then the path set before us is clear. We'll use the Dawn Shard to fight them. Dalmasca does not forget kindness, nor ill deed done. With sword in hand, she aids her allies. Sword in hand, she lays to rest her foes. This Nethicite I hold must be my sword. I will avenge those who have died. And the Empire will know remorse.
I hope you're paying attention, because she's basically the villain right now. I don't mean that facetiously. She is effectively the villain of a Final Fantasy game, as of this moment in time.
The Garif may know.
And her growing out of it is basically her character arc.
The Garif people live by the old ways. Magicite lore is a part of their culture. They may hear it. The cry of the Nethicite's power. Whispers of the stone's menace.
Dangerous though it be, what we need now is power. Should we declare Dalmasca free without the means to defend our claim, the Empire would crush us. You must take me to meet with the Garif.
They live beyond Osman Plain.
Not exactly close.
Compensation, is that what you want?
Straight to the point, aren't we? I like that. Compensation. How about the ring?
I love how he goes for the ring, by the way.
No one's forcing you.
I love that. And of course, that's relative to his character. And the arc he's already kind of gone through.
I'll give it back to you as soon as I find something more valuable.
Of course, Savicom. That was her wedding ring, by the way.
Something more valuable.
In case you missed that.
Hard to say. I'll know when I find it. What is it you want, Vaughn? What are you looking for?
Me? What am I looking for?
Unnecessary scene.
Well,
Dean Badeen, in answer to your question, website. It's been on the website for like a month. Although, actually, I do need to add something else to the website. Why is her wedding ring of her dead husband so valuable to her?
So they do. We'll need to head south, past the Giza Plains.
It is the rains now in Giza. The wadis will be swollen with the deluge. Passage may be difficult.
Why don't we fly there?
But those same waters may also lay open new routes to us.
Regardless, we must go south, yes?
First things first. You're eager to be on your way, I know. But we should see that we're prepared before setting out.
I made my resolve 2 years ago. I swore to overcome any hardship I may face.
Man cannot live by resolve alone, Princess.
It's true. Trust me. Enjoy the store, Bragwin, or be destroyed. So, yeah, I've been to Mont Blanc already. I do need to go turn in the hunt, too. So yeah, ignoring the fact that she was in love before the marriage. To be clear, I do agree that they should have spent more time establishing Rossler. However, it makes perfect sense to me that she would be so attached to him. After all, she had only a little bit of time with him. I've actually talked about that concept before. Two people are like, da-na-na-na-na. Hey, I like you too. And then this person's gone. Now they're left with a picture, literally or metaphorically. And if they go through hard times, that picture helps them to get through hard times. You get how this goes. Basically, the idea here, at least for me, is that she became far more attached to the memory of the man, far more than she ever would have been to the actual man himself. Since it was taken from her before she could realize how much she liked or disliked him in reality. And, of course, idealization of memories and blah, 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 blah. Hey, I killed the guy. You've done Rabanastra a great service, boy. After you'd set out, I thought there might have been overreacting, but it's not to be gained from doubting now, is it? You've done a man's job. Here's your bounty. Take it with thanks. New bow, which is actually pretty useful, which we'll go ahead and equip right now. Tripling his attack power. But I said I'd do hunts off camera, and I meant it. Although I am curious what's available right now. So just real quick, I just want to see what's here. I could probably do that one. I was going to say something else. I don't remember what. I mean, it's extremely human, Crazy Norse, if you think about it. I've seen that happen in real life. Not with romance, necessarily, but, you know. And then gone, you know. I think so. I don't actually know. I should test that. Well, I suppose my point, Savacom, is she may or may not have ever really loved him in real life. She'll never know now. He's dead. But she definitely loves him after he is dead, if you follow me. Or rather, she loves what she remembers of him. So let's see, what do we got here? Some moats. More moats. Got the demon wall. Presented in gratitude for discoveries, providing new insights into the times of King Waithwalls. We got an Esper. And we can do... Ooh. Yeah, we cannot do that. We're super not ready for that one. Thank you, doing numbers. I try. Oh, yeah! Plus the story. Right, sorry. Yeah, the Espers. You can go get Espers if you want to. The like... Only one of them's mandatory, right? Belial. I'm pretty sure the rest you can just completely skip. I am going to give A+ to story, though. No, I think you're right, and I was thinking of it as use, not get. Because there are plenty of playthroughs here where the only Esper I bother to learn at all is Belial, because you have to get into Guravagan. This is a good time to mention another plus to story, because why not? Which might actually blossom into another plus to story later on. This would be a plus for voice acting, by the way. Okay. So since we're not doing optional stuff, let's move on to Giza. Which I'm actually going the wrong way for. I can get there from here. I can get there from here. I mean, it's probable that she did have some love for him, because apparently the two were pretty good, you know, before they got married. And even though it was a political marriage, it actually worked out for them, so shrug. I could do the healing quest, but ironically that's actually on my way. At least a little bit. Sure, we'll go do the healing quest. Why not? Maybe it's south? I thought it was east. I mean, I guess I could get there manually by east, but that's not what I mean. Yeah, where's our airship? In fact, where's the airship we stole? While we're on the subject. So I mentioned that the freedom point in this game is at the very, very, very end. It is, however, worth noting, and Weoud's actually pointed this out in chat, that this game actually does things weirdly, because the freedom points are basically staircases. It's like, you get a little bit of freedom, then nothing, and then a little bit more freedom, and then nothing, a little bit more freedom. And it just kind of staggers as you go throughout the game. And that happens at basically every major encounter. Every major plot event. Where's my dad? Oh god, something must have happened. I'm crossing to the North Bank. I know how to pilot a boat and there's no use waiting here and worrying. Nonsense! You can't do that. The river's dangerous, boy. What if my dad's trouble? After him, there's no one who even knows how to pilot the boat except me. Yes, but if you make it across the river, who knows if he'll want you to do once you're there. It's too dangerous! If only some nearby adventurers could help you out. Hang on, I'm sorry. Why is this so... Is this just loud to anyone else? Is that just me? Like on my end? I don't feel like it was this loud yesterday. What about him? He hunted the flowering cactoid. That's true. What do you say? You've gotta... Okay. This is, believe it or not, a follow-through on the cactuar hunt that we did. Sorry, cactoids. They're called cactoids in this one. So they've invaded the town. They've kept everyone hostage. What do we do? What do we do? Oh, the cactoids ran. I'm glad you're all right. We didn't know what happened. Ah, quite a tale. And you've got some tales of your own, piloting the boat. I know you've got river in your blood. The other said it was dangerous, but I knew I could handle it. But what about the cactoids? Oh, they're a prickly lot. I can't imagine they'll give up that easily. And they're back immediately. Hi. That's the leader of the cactoids. Let's go talk to her. Who do you think you are, kidnapping my dad? Stay back, they're just trying to find their son. Find their son? They're related? Yeah, they're a cactoid family, and their eldest son, Drawn, went missing, and they set out to find him. They came to our village on the way. Nothing but bad news is Drawn. He's part of a cactoid clan terrorizing the desert. There's even a bounty on his head. This one's the matriarch of the family. She's been searching high to low for him. Wants to bring him home and set him straight. But they couldn't find him anywhere. That's why they needed us. That she forced us to guide them into lands beyond the desert. Mosfrin High Waste, Salika Wood, and even the Necrohall. These guys went to the frickin' Necrohall. After all, we still couldn't find him, so they brought us back here for now. But who knows when they'll drag us off again. So, there's a bounty on him, huh? Do you have any idea where he might be? I don't think he'd be north of the river. He must have looked every stone between here and Arcadia. As for the South Bank, well, we were about to lead the cactoids there when you and the others got mixed up in this, too. So that's why you set the boat adrift. Keep him from making the crossing. Yeah, I never figured you'd come and rescue me. But no time for that now. We'll keep him busy. You search the South Bank. Yeah, sure. We'll search for your son. I don't understand. Why would the cactoids invade? The sun? The desert's huge. Where would we even find him? Wait. If this cactoid's been causing us much trouble, yeah, it's the bill. Blah, 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 blah. So, he was hunted and made into medicine. We'll never be able to return him now. What? The flower? Oh, I boiled it and threw it away behind the house. I mean, that is kind of how cacti work. I actually remember distinctly one of my great-great-grandmother's cactuses was... We took a piece of it and turned it into a new cactus. Then we lost it in the great move that we lost just about everything in. I lost my sword in that move, too. we waiting for? Let's go. I guess they didn't want the thing, and that's why they didn't make them cactuars. Rotten, actually, Dream Whisperer. Although the sword was stolen, yeah. A lot of stuff was stolen. Or rotten. I don't know, you think they're buying it? I guess they're buying it. That's good to know. Yeah, it's totally your son. For a certain definition of the word. Hey, sorry I killed you and turned you into medicine. But we got a really good gun ammo, which is great because I'll never use a gun in this game. Whoops, and I'm out of money again. I've gotten extremely used to moving, but that's the only bad move I ever had. What I tend to call the move. It was a really bad move. Mom almost died. God. Oh, that was a wonderfully horrible move. Anyways, moving on. Yeah, she really did almost die. That's not actually a joke. I've told that story before, if you've ever heard me talk about Final Fantasy VI. It was as we had arrived after that move when I first bought FF6 for like $5. Okay. You seem to be doing okay here, which is good. Okay being relative. Oh, hang on a second. We should be able to do our second jobs now, shouldn't we? Yes, okay. Okay, so. So, decision time. Do I turn him into a black mage or a shikari? Let's preview the board. What do we got here? A lot of equipment stuff. I got Mega Man X and Legend of Zelda Link to the Past for $5 as well. Crazy Norse. Used video game stores. Back when people didn't really understand how valuable video games were. It was an interesting time. You think that's bad? I was once forced to sell a lot of my NES stuff. I got about $60 out of it. When I went to rebuy it all, it was closer to 600, give or take. Well, he gets a lot of magic ups. What I'm trying to find out, people were like, oh my god, this thing, this combo is really, really good. I'm trying to figure out why. I don't see anything really useful in this. Other than the fact that he could equip daggers. If anybody wants to shine any light on that, feel free. Because otherwise, yeah, I think I might just go with Black Mage. I don't see any reason to go with that. Black Mage will get me Black Magic. Just Black Magic, Black Magic, Black Magic, Black Magic. Some more mystic lore, lots more mystic lore, because we can always have more mystic lore. Bubble and Siphon, that'll be useful. I could see that. Shields are actually pretty damn useful in this game, so that would make sense. Yeah, Genji gear. There's a walkthrough-itis. Getting Genji gear in this game. Ugh. I think I'll go with my gut, and we'll see if we build ourselves into a corner. There's always cheats if worse comes to worse. No, don't preview. Choose. You, I want to become a time mage. There we go. Ahem. I've already decided here, so I'm not going to preview anything. And then Bosch will become a Holy Dragoon. If I have to explain why, then I got nothing. Okay. The Switch version has the respec, which this version does not, of course. Ah. Okay, that makes more sense. Yeah, patching. We only patch Chrono Trigger. Seriously, it's the only frickin' game they've ever patched when it comes to these damn ports. That's not true, that's not true. They patched the PS4 version of FF7 because they screwed it up. I may have to do that. There's... Yeah. We'll deal with that later. We'll deal with that later. Now, I could be mistaken, but I believe we can get all the way to the Silica Wood right now. It's going to be a little dangerous, but I'm pretty sure we can make the trip. We'll run into a wall there because we can't do the Moogle side quest yet. Pretty sure. I probably shouldn't be fighting 3-packs right now. Yeah, the Bomb King would be the wall for the Necrohall. I don't think I have the DPS or the anything, really, to beat the Bomb King right now. Because he's got that cure-all thing. Although I think I might have a Reflect mode on me. This. And just see how far we can get. Just curious, really. Plus, I'm trying to get... Ah, Jesus. Okay, that's... And we're dead. Okay, that really... I died because of how disorienting that was, but that's okay. I accept my death. Or at least I would if the game would let me, but it won't. So we'll keep running. Running! I'm almost positive there's a teleport spot here, which is what I'm actually getting for. Or going for. Then we'll go back south. How do I... Okay. At some point I'll have to figure out how to switch party members when I'm not currently dead. Because I couldn't figure out how to switch party members there. And this is gonna suck. Yep, nope, we're actually dead.
No.
Like dead. That was funny. Switch off of Vaughn. Nah. Ah, whatever. Jesus. See, now I'm basically in the sunk cost fallacy. I can't stop because I don't want to lose the last half hour of my life. So I have to keep going. The other way, though. Because apparently I'm not in the zone I thought I was. FF3 did not have blue magic, no. That was introduced in FF5. It's part of why it's so overpowered in FF5. Part of. There it is. So very shortly here, we're going to get Larsa as a party member. Normally what I do is then I go run around and do a whole lot of stuff. Usually hunts, and basically all the optional stuff I have access to. We're not doing that on camera, obviously, because hunts are boring. At least I think they're boring. We'll judge it on you know, off camera. I'll let you know, basically. But yeah, we'll get there. So, Giza planes during the wet. I forget the exact formula for this. So, it's set to dry at the beginning of the game, and it's set to wet at this point of the game. After this point, it'll excuse me, I shouldn't say randomly. It will cycle between wet and dry. I forget the exact formula for how it decides that, though. I have distinct memories of trying to get it to switch from wet to dry over and over and over again. They're like, come on, just start raining. But yeah, like, quite a bit later, like by the time the PS3 or PS4 or whatever version had come out, I then found out from speedrunners the actual formula for it, which I don't remember right now, but there is a distinct formula for it, and I was like, oh, okay. Ugh. Back in the day, I'd just zone in and then run around Rabanastra and zone out. And zone in and zone out. And zone in and zone out. Whoops, wrong way. This is also the beginning of, well, what I would refer to as the adventurer part of the story. I've said before, the story doesn't really start falling apart until you get to until you're on your way to Giruvegan. But in my opinion, the seams start to show early, basically right here. Up until now, there's been some really good stuff, but now it's like, okay, go adventure for a while. It's basically the next several steps of the game, until we have an actual goal, which is to go and get the local pope to confirm us as leader, at which point we will have the legal justification or to claim ourselves as ruler of Dalmasca and declare Dalmasca's independence. Like, we'll have an actual goal, but we're not actually there yet. Then that's gonna fail, spoiler alert. And then we'll go adventuring for a while again. And what's funny, so Takoda mentions we should go check out, Nabudis. There's actually no story point at which we have to go to Nabudis. There's a couple of brief cutscenes that happen if you go there, but it's entirely optional. It's effectively the second Like, one below the worst optional dungeon in the game. The only thing worse being the Abyss or whatever it is. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this leads to the Wester Sand. I just want to check really quick, though. And I am correct. Yeah, if you even go to Necro Hall, I'll try to show it off. I have to beat the Bomb King anyways. But if you try to go to the Necro Hall, he'll be like, we had come here on a fool's errand. We should not be here. Turn around, turn around. It's like, okay. Pax was talking about FF12 with me this morning, and we were like, so, you know, what are you thinking? Like, because I've been polling other people, including my friends, for potential positives and negatives. Nothing he mentioned is something I didn't think of myself, or I'm saying that wrong. Basically, he and I were in agreement on basically every point, but he pointed out that the story of this game starts really, really strong, falters, and then just suddenly becomes terrible. So in case you think I'm being too positive on this game, trust me. Nice airship ruins there. Oh, they're so cute. Where is it? They're so cute. They're so fluffy. Okay, we're done. Moving on. As a manly man, I don't appreciate incredibly adorable cute things. And a related knows, Yoshi doesn't appreciate cute things either. Yoshi. I don't agree personally, Dreambound, but I do think the final scene of the Pharaohs is a good scene. But in me, it's more like, if I was to rate the quality of the story, it's like, Klong, Giru Vegan, and then the crystal, and then the other thing, which I can't even remember the name of. And then the Pharaohs, which sucks. And the end of the Pharaohs, which is really good, and then back to the rest of the story. Anyways, what did he drop? I didn't even check. Sorry, I wasn't even looking. What did he drop? What did he drop? A bronze mace. That can't be it. That is a garbage mace. Wow, that is just absolutely terrible mace. Although while we're here, go and get him equipped up. Now there is actually a polearm that can drop off of the werewolves in this area. Which I actually usually... It's the werewolves or the horses, and I usually go out of my way to farm it because it's a really good polearm. But I don't have a polearm user in my party, so screw it. I think we can get to Zertanan from here, too. Which connects to several areas, if I'm not mistaken. Yep, I'm right. We're not going to do Zertanan right now. But I do want to unlock the thing. At least I think that's Zertanan. Zertanan's where Adramelk is, I believe. If memory serves. Yep. And Mateus is in the mines I can't reach right now. I'm trying to remember where they all are. I remember Zeromus, but I don't remember where I fought him. This button. He might have dropped the cotton shirt? Mateus is in the still shrine, okay. So where's Zeromus? I was gonna do something and I can't remember what now. That doesn't matter. Oh, nope. I remember. Hey, it's Judge Geese. He's super dead. No, there he is. Belias. Scion of darkness and guardian of the holy realm, made by the gods in opposition to the transcendent Lawgriff, scion of light. Called the Gigas for his appearance, man and monster fused as one. Considered a mistake upon his making, and receiving not his intended role, the Gigas challenged the gods and lost. Scorned by his masters, he found another, the Dynast King, whose tomb he swore to protect for eternity. Zeromus is one of the optional ones, yes. As is Exodus. Excuse me, Exodus. I actually don't remember a lot of the summons in this game because they're kind of crap, but I do remember Zodiark. God, I remember Zodiark. Anyways. I also remember Ultima. Like, how can I forget that stupid dungeon? Yeah, sure, we can take a red chocobo. Oh, we can. Holy crap. So earlier I asked you guys, what do you think about the walkthrough-itis and the grindy nature of the optional stuff, and it being kind of crap? And should that deserve a negative? Basically, everyone said yes. So, I never actually put that negative up there, because it's actually negatives. So, agreed, Shadow Machine. See, Shadow Machine, he knows what I'm talking about here. I don't know why I'm even debating these ones, so we're just going to go ahead and codify these ones. And this. And thank you very, very much, Shadow Machine. Very much appreciate the sub. Thank you, sir. And you happen to know the question. I know you know the question. If you're there at all. He might have left. There we go. Okay. It's a re-notification. Got it. I really hate that. Not a lot I can do about it, though. Other than stab myself. And my sword's over there, so I can't stab myself very easily right now. Yeah, no kidding, Dean Bidine. Dagger, much better. Yeah, I was actually thinking about that when I was doing the hunts earlier. The green NPCs is actually a great idea. They basically never use it, though. Like, it's here, in the Wester Sand, in the Mount Bur Omises, and that's kind of it. It almost felt like they were... Like trying something, or maybe they didn't just know what to do with it. I don't know, something. Probably Dakota. This is a Gareth land. Go away. They are wayfarers. They bring no harm. I saw them cross the Osmone. They are super good in fight. What business have you with the Gareth? Let them pass. Responsibility will be mine. As your wish, War Chief. For those of you not aware, those are helmets, not their heads. Very Mandalorian. I am Sipinelu. Supinid. I am the war chief of this village. We Gareth have been friends to all since long ago. However, lately the Hume world is in much turmoil. We must protect our village and our people. As war chief and protector of our land, I must ask you, why have you come to this village? I see. So you have come to ask about the Nethicite. You must speak with the elders. Though our masks make it difficult for you to tell us apart, walk through the village and look with your eyes. Listen with your ears. Well, okay. Yeah, there's several hunts that are actually really cool story-wise. I'm still debating a story positive for some of them. I'll have to keep thinking about that. Actually, you know what? Hang on. There, sorry, I'm just redefining a negative. So they actually directly reference Adramelk there. At least I'm pretty sure it's Adramelk. I shouldn't say that so definitively. Whoever it is in the Zertanan caverns. Let's make some money really quick. See you around, Dream Whisperer. This right here is part of why I think that dropping items instead of, you know, money is not a great idea. Hang on, let me sell all my stuff. Sell. I'll go grab those. Like, if there was just a sell all button, it would be a lot better. Sell all grays. Although, of course, then you'd sell stuff that you don't want to, but whatever, you get the idea. God, I can't even afford full potions yet. Never mind gear. Look at this. I can't afford anything. Some potions. In, I want to say Pandaria over in World of Warcraft. No, Arcus. We need to make that a drinking game. Someone mentioned episode 9. Take a drink. As of Pandaria in World of Warcraft, all the gray items have some kind of flavor text on them. Once again, we can bring medicinal herbs and the fine cheese of the Nana to the people of Giza. Listen, Maverick, you better start drinking. So there's the Nana. Weird bird-looking things. Meat, hide, and bones all have their uses. They're strong against drought and cold. Oh yeah, and they're also easily herded. Yeah, I just drink water, dude. Just drink water. Laddie, you're supposed to be getting your headache better. Oh, I'm sorry, Gigi's. I know that feeling. I've had that more than once. What do you think this is, Final Cloud? I like his mask.
This nethicite. You have used it.
It was not I who used it. Indeed, I had hoped you could show me how. Thus I've come.
You do not know the workings of the stone. Then we are no different.
What?
In ages past, the gods made a gift of nethicite to my people. But the manner of its use eluded us. Displeased by our failure, the gods took back their stones. They chose instead to give them to a Yum king. Called the Dynast King, he used the nethicite's power to bring peace to a troubled time. It is a curious thing. Though the blood of King Wraithwall flow through your veins, you cannot wield nethicite.
Cannot wield it? So then, am I to understand you can't tell me how to use the stone?
Though it shame me so to admit, here before me stands a descendant of the Dynast King himself, and I can accord her no help at all. Still, even if you knew how to use the nethicite, you would find it of small avail. The mist collected in the stone over ages past is lost, and with it, the stone's power. It will be your posterity who wield the stone in ages yet to come. This stone is devoid of power, empty, yet full of thirst, a terrible longing to drink the world dry. The power of men and of magic.
So it's a vampire stone.
Of good and of evil. It is often those who desire nethicite whom the nethicite itself desires.
Larsa?
So yeah, now we get Larsa, and this is when I go do a bunch of hunts, because now we have Larsa in the party. I'm not going to do it, don't worry. Maybe a little bit during the lunch break, I don't know. So you remember I mentioned 3 good scenes for Vaughn.
To Baromi says.
I say we ought leave tomorrow. I was going to wait for my escort to return, but meeting you here has presented a great opportunity. This terrible war can be stopped, but I will need your help to do so.
A war?
You know the Marquis Ondor leads a group of insurgents. Your pardon. He leads a large resistance force against the Empire. Lady Ash, Neither of our countries can afford this now. The Rosarian Empire would stir. They would aid the resistance and use this aid as a pretext to declare war on Arcadia, and Arcadia would have no choice but to answer. Lady Ash, let us go to Ber Omases. With the blessing of His Grace, the Grand Kiltius Anastasis, you may rightly wear your crown and declare the restoration of the Kingdom of Dalmasca. As Queen, you can call for peace between the Empire and Dalmasca and stop Marquis Ondor.
For peace? How dare you say that? The Empire attacked us, stole all we hold dear, and you would have me save them from war?
Dalmasca would be the battlefield. What if Nethicite were used on Rabanasta? You know my brother would do this. Forgive me. I presumed overmuch. I could think of no other way to avoid bloodshed. If you cannot trust me, then please, take me as your hostage.
Rustler.
You saw him, didn't you? Like at the King's tomb.
So you did see him too. But why?
It's strange. Before, I didn't even know what you looked like. And the prince? I barely knew there was a prince. Who knows? Maybe the person I saw was my brother.
Bosch told me about him.
He enlisted right at the end. But for what? He knew he couldn't win.
To protect something.
How can he protect anything when he's dead? Was it different for Prince Rastler? Did that make sense? Hating the Empire, getting revenge, it's all I ever thought about. But I never did anything about it. I mean, I realized there was nothing I could do. It made me feel hollow, alone. And then, I'd miss my brother. I'd say stuff like, I'm gonna be a sky pirate, or some other stupid thing. Just anything to keep my mind off it. I was running away. I needed to get away from his death. That's why I followed you. You know what? I'm through with it. I'm through running. I'm ready to find my purpose. To find some real answers. Some reasons. If I stick with you, I think I will.
I wish I knew.
I'll find him.
So there's one of Vaughn's 3 good scenes. And it is a good scene. It's one of the reasons Vaughn is a better character than Hope. I know. Not a hard hurdle to overcome, but still.
I will accompany you to Mount Baromises.
I had hoped you'd say yes. I'm glad.
My heart is not set. I still have questions. I hope to find answers along the way.
I had other reason to invite you. There is someone I'd like you to meet, waiting on Ber Omases.
Who is that?
An enemy, and an ally also. You will just have to wait and see for yourself.
That Larsa likes his secrets.
He does not mean ill by it.
He's not bad. At least for an Imperial.
Imperial scum! Wait. And Penello's just in the background. Like you do.
Holy Mount Baromises stands at the northern end of the Yacht Remuda. Once we're in Yacht, we need not fear pursuit by their airships.
Don't get your hopes up. You remember the Leviathan sailed straight over the Yacht, right up to Wraithwall's tomb. Skystone that works even in Yacht. You know, Nethersight's behind it. Little wonder they're so keen on the stuff.
And what is it you're after, Balthier? You're a welcome hand and a great aid, but why?
Worried I'm out to steal the Nethersight, eh? Can't say I'm unaccustomed to people doubting my intentions. Nothing could be further from my mind. Shall I swear by your sword or some such?
Apologies, but I needed to know where you stand. Her Majesty depends on you, and you seem to have an interest in the stone.
I'm only here to see how the story unfolds. Any self-respecting leading man would do the same.
No, I would say Tidus is better than Vaughn. You don't have any pockets. Oh yeah, Chocobos are in this game, and they're almost completely useless except when they're mandatory. Which I know sounds weird, but it's, trust me. We're gonna do this. Although really quick here. Wow. Actually, hang on. Yeah. Yeah, there's actually a dungeon, which I don't think we're at yet. I think it's when we backtrack that we need it for the dungeon. But anyways, there's a dungeon literally on the Osmone Plains that we need a Chocobo to enter. And I feel like there's other stuff you need Chocobo for, like to get to this chest you need a Chocobo, that kind of a thing. But I don't remember specifics. So yeah, if you want to play this game legit style and do the hunts, go do hunts now, trust me. You can do a lot of hunts right now. Not all of them. As I said, they unlock in tiers, but you can do a whole bunch right now. Although he doesn't have infinite high potions, so, you know, shrug. Apparently you need a chocobo. So yeah, you need a chocobo to go through that, to use a direct example. But apparently you need a chocobo for Exodus, I believe you. I've only gotten Exodus once. In fact, I've only gotten all the Espers once, because screw the Espers. One moment, I need to check my notes. Okay. Dang. I'm trying to think of gameplay positives. Anybody have any they want to posit? Present as a possibility? Other than gambits. Yeah, I don't know why they make you use teleport stones for transport, especially since by the time you are going to be teleporting all over the place, you will have more than enough to never have to think about it, so why even have the limitation in the first place? It's kind of like teleport scrolls in D2. Early on, it's like, oh god. And later on, it's like, yeah, whatever. That is true. Support magic is very useful in this game, I'll give you that. There's a lot of it, too, rather than just, like, haste and slow and whatever. We were talking about that during FF10, I think, or FF3, one of the two. Like, there's a lot of buffs in this game. And I admit, I do like the playstyle of buff, 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 and then, you know, make it work. I don't know why I like that playstyle, but I do. That's how I played Guild Wars 1 as well. That is true. I will give the game that at least some of the optional content, you know, as the hunts, is actually well designed on a proper difficulty. Not all of it, because then there's the paling crap, but, you know. By the way, part of the reason I suggest you do it right now is because after this we're going to have basically a side quest that we have to do in order to deal with the woods and dealing with Fran. Then we'll get to Mount Baromises, and then we'll lose Larsa. So you get him for a very short period of time here. It is a good map, I'll actually give you that. I do absolutely think that counts. This map, or sorry, not this map, hang on. This map sucks, in my opinion. I mean, look at it. The only thing it indicates is the difference between towns, overworld, and dungeons, and a loose idea of how they're connected. However, I will give it credit for the fact that you can then do this. The fact that you can just roam the map, because basically the entire world's connected, is actually pretty cool. Like, I can just zip down to the Ester Sand, go over to the Giza Plains here, go down to the Osmond Plains, and hey, there's where I am, you know? So this is actually a pretty cool concept. It's just this map I don't care for. Whatever. Doesn't matter, I guess. I will give you a map. The map is good, so... It applies to the mini-map as well. It's not a word, isn't it? Navigatable. Oh, navigable. There is a word. I'm not going to give the speed up. I don't think the cheats, the built-in cheats, are good enough to qualify. Not really. It's something I'll bring up during FF7 as well, because I don't think it qualifies during FF7. I am going to go ahead and give the second positive to Gambits, I think. Because the Gambit system's amazing. It is easily one of the better parts of the game, in my opinion. So... Yeah, Gambits literally get better the further you are into the game. That's why I'm willing to go ahead and just codify that now. Right now, it's mostly attack, heal if I need it, use item if I need it. Later on, there's a lot more we can do with that. No. Unfortunately, items and equipment are grindy, to be blunt. You'll notice I haven't really done an equipment upgrade round in 3 dungeons. That being said, I do think the accessories are good, but you know they're good like the same way where they were in, say, 10.2 or 6. You know what? I'm trying. Okay, so probably FF7 or FF9 or Chrono Trigger, Zillogue. That was out of nowhere. I've been having coughing fits all day. No idea why. So, I've been trying to... There's something I want to give a positive for to gameplay, and I've been trying to figure out the words to explain it. and you guys talking about it has given me it. This game has good kit, which is actually pretty rare when it comes to an RPG. There's a lot of options and a lot of tools in your inventory, metaphorically speaking, in order to decide how you build yourself. At least in this version of the game. A lot of spells, like a lot of spells, a lot of support magic, a lot of actual item usage, a lot of equipment, which themselves has something other than just stats, etc., etc. So I do think I'm going to go ahead and go with a kit plus. Basically, yeah. I do think that this game is probably going to get a negative for grind. Which is funny, because levels are so irrelevant in this game. But what I'm seeing so far is that it is getting a little bit grindy just to get, if nothing else, to get the money in order to buy the equipment at the level I'm currently at. We'll see. I'm gonna hold off on that until much further into the game. Oops, I'm going the wrong way. It's not like I've been avoiding combat either. So you can't state that one at me or whatever.
I guess this one was a success.
Wow, I'm impressed, Vaughn.
I got a good feeling.
An alliance between Dalmasca and the Empire.
Reason tells me 'tis the only course. We must avoid a wasting war with the Empire at all cost. Yet I fear I could not bear the shame, had I but the strength.
A shame perhaps for me and for you. But for Dalmasca, it is hope.
And you can just accept this, can you?
After Vane's ruse, I had abandoned hope for honor. Yet, never did I forget my knightly vows. If I could protect but one person from war's horror, then I would bear any shame. I would bear it proudly. I could not defend my home. What is shame to me?
My people hate the Empire. They will not accept this.
There is hope.
Right?
Don't encourage
Hope for a
him.
future where we can
Not
join
that bad,
hands
am I
as
got a
brothers.
good feeling.
Larsa, please. This is serious.
I'm sorry.
Don't be Larsa. Somebody's got to put him in his place.
The Senate may play at intrigue, but Lord Vane is not one to be brought down easily. The entire military waits upon his orders, from the War Council down to the rank and file. What better blade than he to strike down the enemies of the Empire?
Your honor reminds me of Zect 2 years since. He, too, put his trust in Lord Vane's strength, and what became of him? Gone without a trace since Nabudis.
I will not hear you malign Judge Zect. He was a noble warrior. Or do you think his trust in Lord Vane ill-placed?
Vane took 2 of his own brothers' lives. He is ruthless beyond contempt.
Ruthless, you say? Would he were more so. He gives traitors no quarter, be they of his own blood. How fitting for one who would bear the burden of empire.
But could we bear him? Zagabath, what of you? Surely you do not believe his brothers were traitors?
So found His Excellency Lord Gramis, you would do well to mind your tongue, Drace. That matter is long past.
Your Honors, a summons. Lord Vane has arrived at the palace.
We come at once.
Lord Larsa has left for Baromises. He hopes to enlist the aid of the Grand Kiltius in stopping the insurgents. I doubt this will be enough to deter Ondor, but even a slight hindrance to his operations would be welcome. This will delay the Rosarian invasion, and we will have bought much-needed time to shore up our defenses.
Just as His Excellency had hoped.
No matter the result, I'm pleased with the young lord's progress. I can already see the stunned faces of those mud-witted senators. The fools think a child emperor's strings easy to pull from the shadows. But they will find that Lord Larsa is no puppet.
Yes, the senators would be most pleased with a puppet for an emperor. Recall, Drace, how the Senate fears and despises Lord Vane's ability. When they realize the truth, that Lord Larsa is no docile lamb to be shepherded, they will bare their teeth and devour him.
You're right. I shall speak on this matter with His Excellency at once. Gabranth, it falls to us to protect Lord Larsa. Are we agreed?
Aye.
And another critical step in Gabranth's character arc. As I've said, Gabranth's core point is the fact that he had no core at all. And in Larsa, he is finding a core, some reason to actually bother trying and caring other than just doing whatever he's told. Can I help his buddy out? No, I guess not. Whatever. I think Bergen is probably stronger, but less powerful than Gabranth at this point, Wilking. Bergen is all raw. And basically coasting on his superhuman ability. But yeah, I am always amused that Bergen actually defends Zect. That's hysterical to me. It also says something about the kind of respect Zect had back when he was a judge. So can I just say that the woods can go to hell? The spirit of the woods or whatever.
What is it?
The jungle denies us our passage.
What have we done?
We? No. I.
What's that mean? How are we supposed to get through that?
Making an appearance?
Come on, I'm talking over here.
I thought you'd left for good.
Hey!
Our choices are few.
Friend? Balthier!
This is as much for you as it is me.
Oh?
You are ill at ease. The Nethicite troubles you. You've let your eyes betray your heart.
Right.
What are you doing?
Soon you will learn.
I try not to hate the Vieira, but I really hate the jungle spirit thing.
We go to seek aid of the Vieira who dwell ahead.
I bet they'll be glad to see you after so long.
I am unwelcome, an unsought guest in their wood.
I've always assumed it was an illusion, but I don't think they clarified, Dakota. At least it's a good song.
In the village ahead, you will find her, Mjern. Bring her to me. She will know why you call her.
Koopa? You're the ones who helped us at the Leviathan. Oh, we've had quite a time reaching this village. I hope you don't think we followed you here. That wouldn't do at all. Wouldn't you like to see my wares? You won't find many shops around here. Okay, what do you got? Stuff I can't afford. Okay. Hang on. Let's see what we can actually afford here. Seriously, a sell all button? Just saying. I might be able to afford one thing.
They all do.
Oh, wrong thing. What? Ugh. Ow. Alright, who donated? Who donated? That is an interesting reason. I'm not sure I would agree with you on that one, personally. Although it would be very useful, I agree. Like, imagine, it depends on how strong it is, really, right? Like, imagine if you're just hanging out and you're like, oh, I'm tired, and so you just start lifting things with your mind instead. So I can't afford that, or that. Never mind armor. I haven't been able to afford armor in forever. Or accessories. I can't afford anything. I can't afford potions right now. Someone asked if I'm taking into account the reduced... I need to see that. The reduced grind of this version versus previous versions. The answer is yes. But... like, we'll see. Because this is the specific edition I'm judging. That's the idea. I'll start selling gear. Screw it. Hey, Disco. So I can afford one weapon. Let's go with the spear. Oh, I'm ready for the Von cringe. I'm always ready for Von cringe. So he's light, she's heavy. I think they're both heavy. Hang on. Okay, she is heavy. He's also heavy, I was right. I'm pretty sure he's light. And I am correct. So I need light and 2 heavy armor. Vaughn's fine, don't worry about him. I can't even afford the heavy armor. By the way, I should explain. Heavy armor has the most defense. Mage armor has, like, magic resistance. And light armor has health built in. That's how they vary up the different armor types. I feel like there's more to it than that, but that's what I remember off the top of my head. That's actually a really good accessory. So much so, I'm just going to go ahead and buy 3 of those right now. What game has the worst moral message? You know, I feel like there's an answer there, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. You're going to have to give me a minute. Saints Row. What the hell is the moral message of Saints Row 2? Screw 'em! That's the message. Just by itself. Screw 'em! Or you can take the quote from the end of the game. We own this town. We'll do what we want. That counts, right? I don't remember. Like, some of these you can gain access to with espers. I don't remember how you get to all the rest of them. There we go. Where are his spells? Here we go. Hitman 2. What's the message of Hitman 2? Kill them all. Debating here. Yeah, there's a little bit of bleed over too, I've noticed. Depending. As was pointed out earlier, we're at the point where we really need to start be stealing, so we're going to start doing that. Oh, I should get a save in, having done all that menuing. I do apologize, but there is a lot of menuing in this game. I'm trying to do as much of it off camera as I can. Do you mind if I steal that quote, Disco? So Fran's outfit doesn't bug me. Theirs does, though. Like, what the hell are they wearing? What do they eat here? Anyways, this is a little bit of traditionalism gone bad. De Vieira here. Carrots. Which is probably why I dislike them so much. Oh, there it is. What's really weird is there's a decent amount of Vera outside of here, and yet they treat Fran as if she's the only one who left.
Hey, Mjorn lives here, doesn't she? We're here to see her.
You will leave at once. It is not allowed for humans to walk on these grounds.
We'll go as soon as we've seen Mjorn.
If you can find her.
We're not leaving until you let us see her. Fine then. We'll look for her ourselves.
Ah.
I've heard the voice of the wood. She says Mjorn is not in the village. Hjote, where has she gone?
Why do you ask? The wood tells us where she has gone. Or can you not hear her? You cannot. Your ears are dull from hearing their harsh speech, I think. Viera who have abandoned the wood are Viera no longer. Mjorn too has left her embrace.
And you forsake them in turn?
It is the will of the village.
Yeah, it's the will of the woods.
Always with the wood. So is the green word, and so is our law.
We'll let you worry about keeping your laws. Just do us a favor and stay out of our way. We'll find her ourselves.
That's a good question, Crazy Norse.
Our sister has left the wood and gone west. She wanders warrens among men who hide themselves in clothes of cold iron. Thus to me has the wood spoken.
The Viera may begin as part of the wood, but the wood is not the only end we may choose.
The same words I heard 50 years ago.
There's a few Viera outside. We even do a few quests for some outside of the woods. And of course there were some in the intro if you were paying attention. I'm pretty sure we'll see some on Mount Baromises too.
Not bad, Vaughn. Didn't think we'd get any information out of that one. So then, what was she saying about men in a warren?
The Henna-Magicite mines. Maybe that's what she meant. They lie in Bangkor, south of the Osmoan Plain. The entire region is a colony of the Arcadian Empire. There would be soldiers.
Is that a problem? Let's move.
Fran.
Yes?
I was wondering what Hjote said, you know? About how you said the same thing 50 years ago?
Your point?
How old were you again?
Nice fun.
Surprisingly rude.
Try to grow up, please.
You know what irritates me most about that scene? Everyone's reaction to Vaughn. He could have phrased that question better, but it's not exactly an unheard of question. It's just, hey, how old are you? And they all freak out like, oh my god, he's the rudest thing ever. For record, a better way to phrase that would be, how old do Vieira live? See you around, Crazy Norse. Okay, now that Crazy Norse is gone, we can do the interesting stuff. Finally! God, I've been waiting all this time to do all the cool stuff. Oh yeah, by the way, we've been talking a little bit about the nature of steal mechanics across the Final Fantasy series. In 12, you can only steal once. Like, ever. And you have a pretty low chance to steal. There is one piece of equipment that can increase the chances of stealing. What they're called. It might be the Genji gloves. I remember looking at that and being like, really? That's it? However, there is a lot of stuff that's worth stealing, which kind of makes it maybe the worst version of stealing in the FF series. It's certainly not a good version. For all the irritation FF9 causes me on stealing, I'd still say it's better than this version. Or 7, for that matter. Yeah, sure, here, have a potion. We fled from the Henne mines. We were attacked, you see. It was all we could do to make it this far. We'll rest here until my friend's wounds have a chance to heal. If you'd like, we'll lend you the use of our chocobo. Which you actually need to get to the Henne mine, so that's nice. I hope my mates in the mines are alright. So if I'm not mistaken, this is the only mandatory time we need a chocobo. And this is how chocobos work. Enemies don't attack you, so that's neat. It's limited time, you get 3 sprints. And they can go certain areas the other guys can't. That's kind of as far as that goes. Chocobos suck in this game, is what I'm trying to say. There's also a rare encounter, like, right about here-ish. Who also sucks. The chocobos look great in this game. This is actually probably the best looking the chocobos have ever been, in my opinion. They're just useless in gameplay. Oh yeah, his mates at the mine are fine.
Researchers from the Draclaw laboratory. What were they doing here?
Research.
Sorry. Dismount. I can't think of it, Disco. It was something about how, like, technology and progress and civilization are bad things, and I can't remember the game. And speaking of someone who uses technology every day of his life, and actually likes the idea of civilization. So here's a dungeon that sucks. The Henne Mines. How many of you have spent a very large amount of time in this mine specifically? I don't actually know if it's true in this version, but back in the PS2 version, this is where you go to hit level 99. Obviously not this time through. We're actually going down there, and naturally we can't jump down this slight slope down there to get down there. No, we have to go basically through the entire dungeon to get down there. If I give it a negative, can someone do me a favor and check? I don't want to freeze the game again. Could someone do me a favor and check if I've given a negative to the dungeon design already? Oh, I'm sure, Disco. Whenever someone, in my experience, says technology's bad, then what they mean is technology I don't like is bad. And that's usually a very arbitrary line that they draw. Okay, I have. Thank you for checking. So this is the gimmick of this dungeon. Again, you'll notice how just about all of these dungeons, up to a point, have a gimmick. And here it's the Zelda puzzle. I can't think of what it's called. When, you know, the red and blue thing. You flip the red thing, the blue. This right here, this is the room. This is where you hit level 99, right here. I'm not actually kidding. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, we can spawn something right now? Yep, we can. Thankfully, we do have some magic damage in the form of the katana, otherwise we wouldn't be able to do much against these guys. Yeah, okay, so that's a thing. We're gonna run! Dude, stop being confused. Thank you. Appreciate it. I mean, my favorite example of technology is glasses, because, you know, I kind of need those to see, and a lot of people do. But yeah, we've got glasses, chairs, sticks with stones attached to them. All of that's technology. And of course, technology can be a concept, too. The very concept of a government is a technology. Voting is a technology. Monks are really good in this game, yeah, Zillow. But yeah, no, technology's bad, guys. Down with technology. Just, whatever. Oh wow, they're still here and at the same health they were. Okay, yeah, let's recoup. Let's recoup. I mean, obviously it is possible to take technology too far. Duh. In other news, water is in fact wet. Okay, I think we got it now. I once heard a definition of technology as the application of human ingenuity, which I liked that definition. Of course, it's a hell of a catch-all, but, I mean, yeah, it is. Okay. So, I actually need to hit the switch again. Run! Okay, it's just one. It's just one. We're okay, we're okay. Okay, it's two. Oh god! They're multiplying! The slimes are multiplying! No! Okay, we're okay, we're okay. The reason you use that room is if you set yourself up right, it's an infinite spawn. It's a set up the gambits and then walk away from the PS2 for a few hours kind of a thing. That's why, in case you were wondering. Get the double experience equipment accessory on and just walk away. This is a good time to mention the way AoEs work, is they are basically, they hit every target that is within a range of the original target. So if we're all in, and the range is decent, it's about 20 yards. So if you're basically in a cluster like we are now, any AoE will hit everyone. Not always, though. The only downside is it has to follow the path. I have died while a Kiraja is on its way towards me before. Because what'll happen is it'll be like, vwong, vwong, vwong. And you're like the third person in line to be healed there, and you're just waiting while you're getting smashed on. Which can suck. What I find funny is the people at the entrance are like, oh my god, the mine! We had no idea! And everything seems to indicate that this is some horrible experiment gone wrong, right? And yet so far this is just a place filled with fiends. It's like, okay. This is why you have soldiers, right? Although unlike FF10 or 4, or 6, or 7, 8... or 9, there's no real lore explanation for these things other than this is a monster-filled nightmare world. So there's just monsters everywhere is what I'm trying to say. If you think I'm joking, obviously I'm not actually going to sit and read all the bestiary entries, especially since I'm not getting them, but if you do, you'll find out that there's a whole lot of ways for you to keep going after you die that are incredibly unpleasant. These creatures are people who died in war. These people are creatures who died at sea. These creatures are people who died regretting a lost love. These creatures are people who died underground. These creatures, you get the idea. I'm going to stop, but there is an overwhelming number of monsters in this game that are people who died and then this happened. I can't take that thing on. Well, maybe. There is a lot of undead in this world. Holy moly. And unlike Pokemon, we could probably presume the bestiary is actually accurate, so... He's lost, Dakota. Really, really lost. I'm trying to get to the Ester Sand. Can anyone help me out? I'm not sure. I think I took a wrong left. Oh, absolutely, Joe Neutrino. My god. In fact, hang on. Let me just see if I have any, like, really good ones on me. It's usually the undead. Any soul, when trapped in a coffin by magics, will become a vengeful thing of passionate violence, no matter how innocent or unsullied its former life. The ghost is a lamentable example of such. Tales tell of a mage who trapped his lover's soul in a casket of cold wood and set it at his side, only to be rent limb from limb by the monster his love became. Destroying the casket is often enough to dissipate the apparition, this being more properly called releasing, for it frees the soul at last to assume the form assigned to it by nature. How about... being a corpse exhumed, bound by foul magics, and enslaved. The corruption of flesh is advanced, its stench both rank and cloying withal. As exposure to the sun's rays speeds its decay, they are oft conditioned for nocturnal activity. Many are those who bear burdens through life and fail to relinquish them at the moment of death. Weighted down, they attain not to heaven, but are cast aside, to wander the land as skeletons. Robbed of the pardon of flesh, they are cursed to walk for eons, till their very bones are reduced to ash. Only when they are undone and gone from this world, and nothing remains to bear that which they should not have borne, will they permit themselves eternal sleep. Being the corpse of a fallen warrior, plated in armor of pale bronze, brave and eager for battle and life, they continue to lust for war and death. Their preferred haunts of man-made caves and mines, although some skull defenders are thought to be fallen hunters, slain in their quest for a mark. Men whose souls have been wrenched from flesh and made to march to another's tunes are called lost souls. Sightings of these poor creatures serving as guards for ancient ruins or graves are common. In modern times, even those with the power and title are prevented from performing the ritual of extraction necessary to fashion these monstrosities, hopefully ensuring none will ever more be made. To release their soul from bondage, no other means is known, save to pulverize their bones and return them to the earth. I could keep going, by the way. There's, like, the zombie mage, the fate of the sorcerer who seeks to satisfy dark intellectual curiosity by means of abnormal extension of his natural lifespan. The Lich! When a man dies with hatred enduring, he is rent from his station in life and given new station in undeath according to the depth of his passion. Skull Warrior, cold but you get the idea. I'm not going to read all. There's a whole lot of them. This is what I'm trying to say. Like a lot. And none of them are pleasant. Still doing eardrops, comma. I still have a few left, period. We finished 11, comma. We are on 12 now, period. A much more political story. Semicolon. Nobles and kingdoms and war, comma. That sort of thing, period. Funnily enough, to my knowledge, there is no information on whether there is or is not an afterlife in this setting. They have a religion, but that doesn't really talk about it. And the Ocuria, well, they're just statue people. So, I mean, what the hell do they know? Stupid statue people. That's a run. That's run. That's run. That is... Yeah, there's plenty of undead. Plenty of undead. Hey, it's a T-Rex. Deja vu. Basically, yes. Although I will admit, I always have thought of 10-2 as FF11, and I still think that to this very day. I mean, it's not like FF11 is FF11. FF11 is FFO. And FF14 is FFO2. I am totally cool with insulting FF11. Patooey patooey. I know, it's gotten better. Oh yeah, by the way, at a certain point, every chest is trapped. And a huge number of them are mimics. That's a rare. Holy crap. Well, that's death. Oh god, it followed me. Where the hell am I? I need to go this way. I need to go this way. I got turned around. Zone line, zone line! Unfortunately, this is going to be leading into a boss.
Look at the Magicite. These mines much resemble the ones at Lusu. Of course, Draklor must be searching for new sources of ore. Should the Resistance forces move, the rich veins of Magicite and Bujeba will be forever beyond their grasp.
Or that forever. Until they conquer it. I mean...
What is this mist?
The elite is harder than the boss, Takoida, so... Here's one of those scenes that really doesn't make a lot of sense, no matter how you twist it.
The stench of fumes. The stench of power.
What's wrong with her? Stay away! Power-needy Hume!
I do need power, that's true. Okay, so... Oh, thank goodness. It's fine, Takoida. She's not... She's fine. So speaking of T-Rexes... There's actually multiple classifications of dragons in this setting. These are worms, specifically. WIRMS. And if I'm not mistaken, this is our first introduction to palings? I could be wrong. God, disable is like the worst status effect in this entire game. Do I have anything to get rid of that right now? No. I hate disable so much. Thankfully, disable doesn't last forever. Disable does exactly what it sounds like, in case you're wondering. There is a way to get rid of it, but I don't have the item on me. That would be interesting, if Mist is specifically what's responsible for reanimating the dead. Considering Mist is directly a tool of the Ocuria, that implies a lot of things. So this is a good example of why the AoE range on that kind of sucks. You'll notice that Bosch did not get hit by that Cura because he was too far away. Because this is the thing, they like to roam in combat, even if it's a single target, and some of the bosses are large. So you see how spread out we are right now? There's not really a lot you can do about this either, because the moment you manually correct, they just start roaming again. Yeah, no kidding. Gotta roam. I do like being able to see boss health. That's actually very true. I've said for years how much it pisses me off not being able to know the health of a specific boss, so... I should mention that in the Interface Plus, because I've actually already given the game an Interface Plus. Hang on, I know this is going to pause this, so give me just a second, but I want to jot that down before I forget. There we go. I mean, even without Libra, you know. Although with Libra you can see more, obviously, but whatever. Balthier's like, well, I do something, but I physically can't right now, so, you know. Oh, God. By the way, enemy AoEs are AoE as well, so we all just got disabled. It's also how you avoid enemy AoEs as you spread out. So that's the benefit of spreading out. Spread out a little bit. Make sure that disable guy doesn't hit us. Come on, he's got like 20 health left. Exaggeration, he's probably got like 1,000. There we go. Yeah, and this one you can still move while disabled, it's just, there's not a lot of use to doing that. It's worth noting, by the way, I am noticeably behind the power curve right now. I'm curious how much worse that's going to get as we go forward. Why did it... Hey, Vana. Who has no reason to either be here or show herself. Itself at this point. Yeah, Mir... this...
That thing inside her, what was it?
Is it you? When the Hume soldiers came to the wood, the village took small heed of them. So long as the wood herself is safe from harm, the Viera give little care to goings-on beyond her. But in me, an uneasiness stirred. I had to discover why they had come.
So you came here hoping to find something out and got yourself caught. You're as foolhardy as your sister.
They took me then, and set close beside me a stone. They said its mist would be drawn into me, that the Viera well suited this end. I saw the light coming from the stone, and then...
We have seen this. On Leviathan, the mist released from the Dawn Shard drove me too into such a rage. She was taken not by the Dawn Shard.
Manufactured nethicite. Then that means... Penella, the stone I gave you, do you still carry it with you?
Sure, it's right here.
This is a thing more dangerous again than I had imagined. I should never have given it to you. Forgive me, I didn't know.
I'd always thought of it as sort of a good luck charm. And even if it is dangerous, on Leviathan it kept us safe.
There is a place for all things, even danger such as this.
I hope you're right about that.
I've always thought so, Takoida, but I don't think they ever clarify. This part of the game is kind of lacking, story-wise. How do the chunks of metal that are in their...
Whispers. Take it. Lente's tear is a permission. Pass through the wood and leave. To other places go.
That cannot be all. I saw it when I left the village. Ivalice is changing. How can the Viera stand and do nothing at all?
Ivalice is for the Humes. The wood alone is for us.
But that is wrong. How can we just hide here in the trees when all the world outside is on the move? I too wish to live freely, to leave this wood.
Do not do this. You must remain away from the Humes. Stay with the wood. Live together with the wood. This is your way.
But Fran, my sister...
I am no longer of you. I have discarded wood and village. I won my freedom, yet my past has been cut away forever. No longer can my ears hear the green word. This solitude you want, Mjern?
Sister.
No, Mjern. Only one sister remains to you now. You must forget my existence.
I am sorry to make you do this.
She goes against the laws of the wood. I threw down these laws. It is better that I do this. Better I than one who must uphold these laws herself. I have a request. Listen to the wood's voice for me. I fear she hates.
The wood longs for you, for the child gone from under her boughs.
A pleasant lie, that.
Be cautious. The wood is jealous of the Humes who have taken you.
I am as them now. Am I not? Goodbye, sister.
It's probably my favorite quote of Franz in the whole game, by the way. A pleasant lie, that quote. Hope you enjoyed that. That's all the characterization Franz gets in this game. That's also why she's not on the positive for story. Because that really is all we get for her. A very, very common problem with Final Fantasy games in general is there's usually at least one character who basically gets one section of the game to them, and that's it. Yeah, we can reach the mountain real quick. As I say, I'm actually struggling to think of one that's not like that. Six has that problem. 9 has that problem. 4 has that problem. 5, I guess, kind of bypasses it, but 5 also doesn't have a lot of characterization, period. So that's cheating. 7's like that. Hey, Marlboros. Yay. It brings me back to a comment I've made a few times, and in fact, I'm pretty sure I talked about this during this, this marathon run. If that's the choice, why not just eject the other party members? Just don't write them in. Just have the characters you plan to flesh out. Spend more time on them, It is incredibly forbidden to Tigzar. The only way I could ever possibly answer that is if you went to the website, and that's just insane and impossible, and I know that. Yeah, even 15, which was a heavily character-centric game, had Gladio. Oh yeah, sorry. Take a drink. Accidentally spill your drink, oh my gosh. So this boss can suck. Depending. Yeah, they had 4 party members and they still screwed it up. Come on, FF. Yeah, I think the only FFs that bypass that problem are the ones who do so by technicality. Like 1, and the NES version of 3, and 5. That's kind of it. So this is actually a cool thing. This isn't actually a dragon. It's literally just the rage of the forest personified. Because remember, the spirit of the woods is actually evil. I'm sorry, but she is such an uppity twit. The best part is I'm actually 90% certain I'm going to die on this fight. So this should be fun. Come on. There we go. Okay. Ads dealt with. We're out of healing items because we haven't had enough money to refill on them. Let's speed up to quad speed here. So this is probably where I'm about to lose this fight, right here. Spore Cloud. You like status effects, right? Oh, what is that? That's Hang on, so that's silence, blind, oil, and sap. That's not terrible. Could be worse. But yeah, there's... I'm pretty sure I'm about to die, then cut off for lunch, then go level. Doing hunts. And we'll try again. Yeah, by the way, he can do it multiple times. He's a dick. Very cool looking, though. I feel like my idea for elemental dragons actually came from this game. I could be wrong on that. Wow, debuffs lasted through death. That sucks. By the way, in case you missed it, he's actually kind of tutorializing you on something. He is casting oil on us, and then fireball. For those of you not aware, the oil status effect forces you to be weak to fire. Which is actually a really unique and awesome idea that I wish they did more with. Like, imagine if there were those kind of things for multiple elements rather than just fire. Yeah, we're out of handkerchiefs, by the way. I mean, there's actually one other RPG I can think of that does that. It's called Asheron's Call. There it's much more simple. Rather than being oil, it's literally called fire vulnerability. So, you know, it's literally just fire vuln, ice vuln, acid vuln, etc. Still a cool idea, and I still love the concept. Oh, come on! No, weak to ice... Well, Yeah, actually, yeah, weak to ice would be wet, basically. But then again, that would also be weak to lightning. Although you could do that. You could make it have, like, a multiple effect. And I know I'm pulling that straight out of Magicka, but whatever. I mean, Magicka had a good system of counterbalance between its elements, so unapologetic there. What makes you weak to air? Air. Brittle would be my first thought. Which could make you weak to air and earth, if you think about it. Alright, so hang on, let's go recoup, because I didn't actually expect to be able to take that fight on. We have basically emptied our inventory doing that fight. God, we have no money. Well, whatever. Yeah, this is a good time to chop off, so that's what I'm gonna do.